That moment you realize you've been muted for a whole minute. Starting us off great, huh? I hadn't done that in a while though, so it's been like, what the hell's wrong with this thing? What's wrong with you? Stay still. Okay. Um. Yeah. Well, like I was saying, I expect this to be, I guess a stream where we don't have as many viewers as we normally do, right? So, um, I'm probably gonna be talking to myself quite a bit because some of the people that were gonna make it, that said they wanted to be a part of the stream, they said they'll have to catch it a little later because of time zones. We have a lot of people in the UK, and I could barely make the 6 p.m. time. I was already a bit late because of just personal stuff. I couldn't do the stream any earlier, so it is what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna actually start talking a bit about my trophy list here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of go through some of my like overall stats and how the years have played out, and then just actually talk about some key games from my journey. So currently I have 280 games on my profile, 260 completed, 97.4% completion rate. So for those that know me, they know that I'm a completionist trophy hunter, not just somebody who wants as many platinums as I can get, but I like to get the 100% in every game I play for that I can. And I'm kind of selective with what I put on my profile. So, um, you know, there's a few games here that I'm gonna talk about that almost broke me, which I'm not looking forward to even looking at those trophy lists again. But anyways, I'm gonna go to my stats and just this will show. I believe it's here. Yeah, there it is. This is kind of like it shows you here the ups and downs. Like, look at that. August 2008. Yeah, so that was my first trophy. Was exactly 15 years ago today, which was Uncharted. My first trophy, I think, was for getting a treasure in Uncharted 1 on the PS3. So, yeah, you can see the ups and downs here over the years. Can't believe it's been 15 years since that first trophy. But, you know, it's been a wild ride, and a lot of time and effort has gone into this, and some time away, that which I'll kind of talk about here. But yeah, you can clearly see here like the ups and downs here over the years. So Fridays are my number one day to trophy hunt. Look at that. Yeah, Friday's always been my day. It's usually when I have more time for myself. At least most of my life, that's how it's played out, right? When I think about it, 15 years, I'm 35. That's a big chunk of my life. 35 years old. So 15 years since my first trophy is a good chunk. And quite a lot has happened in those 15 years for me personally. So yeah, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here. Kind of start from the beginning, the very, very beginning. And I don't really have a huge trophy list. I mean, 15 years, there's people who have, I mean, by now, maybe 1,000 platinums. And I don't mean just easy ones. I mean, like, decent platinums. So I only have 240 as of this moment. So I've taken a lot of breaks because it's a lot of effort. But yes, I'm gonna start from the beginning. Uncharted, Drake's Fortune, very first trophy, and August 4th, 11:53 p.m. Wow. Okay, so it was literally late night. Wow, that's kind of really late. I usually never play that late now. Once again, 15 years ago. Wow, it scrolled me all the way back to the top there. I didn't expect that. So yes, not a super hard game, but crushing was a pain, but nowhere near as bad as Brutal for the remasters. There's a lot of games here that I did play in between, like between the ones I'm going to talk about. It's just that they got DLC added later, and for a long time I didn't care about going back to DLC, which I'll talk about a little bit more. But I had games come up like off the top of my head, like one of the Guitar Heroes was there. Gran Turismo was all in this time frame. This is all 2008, so I didn't just play 2 games in 2008. So Lingering Shadows was my second completion, and I can't even tell you what that game's about. It's been such a long time. I remember it being very easy, like 59 minutes. It was like, oh, this game has trophies. Let me buy it. And it was pretty cheap. That's December 2008. So I definitely played some other stuff. I want to say Grand Theft Auto also got trophies around that time, and I was playing that. And I think I got close to the platinum, and then it's a really difficult platinum, so I never earned it. I did earn it later, but I didn't earn it at the time. Resistance 2. This 90% here still hurts me to this day. This game is one of the better first-person shooters for that time. And I played a little bit of Resistance 1, which shouldn't have trophies, but never beat it. But Resistance 2 had trophies, and I really, for the beginning, I knew that I was going to be a trophy hunter because I used to play a lot of Xbox 360, and that had achievements, and I was a big fan of that. I was like, wow, PlayStation's got to get that. So that's why as soon as Uncharted got patched for trophies, I went right for it. I knew, like, this is going to be what I want to dedicate my gaming time to. So yeah, Resistance 2. Look at that. Spent a lot of time on that game. Only missing one trophy, which is to get 10,000 kills online, and the servers are closed. You can't get it. So this is first incomplete, unobtainable on my list, I should say. First unobtainable game on my list. So there's going to be quite a bit of those. And we got Guitar Hero Metallica next. Man, I spent a lot of time and a lot of great memories on this game. This is one of those that I can obtain. For those that don't have the online trophies, you can't, but I do have them. I've had them for, 14 years. June 2009. Wow. So 82%, though. I'm missing like the high score trophies there, which I might as well learn to play a real guitar to try to get those. But I don't know, maybe one day I'll get inspired enough. I still have the game, I still have the equipment. I did rebuy it though, like 5 years ago, but I do have the equipment, the drums, the guitar. I actually only have one guitar. I need to get a second one in order for me to do this 4-player one. But yes, I was very into Guitar Hero around this time, as you guys can see. Guitar Hero Smash Hits. Smash Hits. A lot of tough trophies in this one. I've never gone back to clean it up. Like, I haven't touched that game since October 2009. I really haven't played it again. I'm sure there's a few that I can clean up, but I'm not really interested in it. I'm never. You can't platinum it anyways, so whatever. Terminator Salvation. This is the first game that I felt like, wow, that's all you need to do to beat the platinum. I think all you had to do was beat it once, and it was very, very easy. This was an easy trophy back then, easy platinum back then. But the game sucked. Just an absolute bore. I remember just absolutely hating everything about it. I'm like, what am I doing playing this shit? You know, give me a break. But yes, I look at 53.46. So half the people just pretty much just didn't want to beat this game, because I think that's all you had to do, or at least by the standards back then, it was just so simple. You know, compared to like Resistance and these games here, that was a piece of cake. Dead Space. This game will always have a special place in my heart because it was I've always been a big Resident Evil fan, but when I played that game, I was like, wow, this is giving me the same like jump scares and like spooky vibe that I got from the Resident Evil games growing up. So I really loved it, and I almost never played it because at first when it came out, I wasn't this stage in my life right here, 2010 or so. I was not really gaming as much. I would say between 2009, actually, around this time, first 5 years of my trophy hunting career, if you will, I wasn't really gaming as much. I was obviously still playing video games, but not on the scale that I did years later. I would say I'm kind of where I was at, where I'm at now is where I was then, which is I didn't play as much just because of a lot of things going on in my life. But yeah, Dead Space is really fun platinum, and obviously the remake is out, which I was super excited for. I haven't played it yet. I'm trying to save it for the right time, where I'm actually just where I'm really feeling like, all right, this is this game right here. I'm gonna think back to 13 years ago now. Wow, and I'm gonna say, wow, this is where's my mouse? What happened to? Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's why I love that game so much. So I will go back to it eventually, the remake. So I'm thinking even this year. So Rock Band 2. I want to say this is the... Yo, what's up, Fueyo? What's going on? Welcome. What I miss? Not much. I just talked about my first trophy 15 years ago. First platinum, Uncharted, and how much I loved achievements on Xbox 360. And when that came out, I was very excited. And I jumped right into trophy hunting because I already knew what it was because of Xbox. But yeah, I'm up to... And how I'm probably never going to get this Guitar Hero Metallica. Unless you get really good at it. We need a 4-player band to get a million score on battery. It's not impossible. All those are achievable there. The Metallica ones. But anyways, Rock Band. See, I was very into these rhythm games, guys. I was into it. Rock Band 2. Took me a year and 6 months to beat, to platinum. And this was one of the ones I was very proud of. To this day, it's still ultra rare platinum, 1.59. Off the top of my head, the hardest trophy on here was you had to play the entire 80 something songs in one sit down. You couldn't pause the game. You couldn't lose. If you paused or lost the game, even by mistake, you lost the trophy. You weren't able to get it. So it was crazy. I did it singing because there were some songs on there that was just too hard on guitar, and I didn't want to risk it. And I knew that there were some songs, excuse me, like there was a few songs you could put the microphone down by the speaker and you could walk away, and it'll play it'll let you it'll give you those notes pretty much for it. So I did it on singing for that particular trophy. But aside from that, there was a lot of tough ones, like doing these beats. I remember that being really tough. A year and 6 months before I got that. So yeah, I was playing it from 2009. So I was playing it kind of simultaneously with these Guitar Hero games. Really into that stuff back then. Oh, my first WWE Platinum. You guys are going to see a lot of these on here. SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. I've owned every every game from the SmackDown series. From SmackDown 1 up until now when they changed to 2K, so. But this was the first one that had trophies. And I remember just being elated, like, wow, yes, completely went for that one right away. So I got that platinum there. Madden NFL 2010. I was kind of into football around this time, a little more than, like, I thought I would be at that time, because I was more into it in like high school and stuff. So now I don't really keep up with it at all. But around this time I was watching a bit more. Got my first Madden. Got the platinum for this game. Later on, I don't know when, they added trophies for DLC. And I went a very cold period. Like, I'd say 2010 to like 13, like end of 13. I was really not playing much. There's going to be a huge jump here. Look at that, just a couple games, 2010, 2011. So, Madden is incomplete, and will be forever incomplete because there's a lot of you actually can't buy the DLC pack, and even if you did, there's one trophy that's online, and God forbid a sports game is open for 13 years as far as servers, so that's closed. And once I started becoming a completionist, which is what I'm going to talk about, at this point in my life, I was just collecting trophies. I would get the platinum if I could. I wouldn't fuss it if I couldn't. I'll just move on. right? I was like, all right, cool. I'm not gonna go crazy for this, right? Then I went crazy later on, which is where we're almost there, believe it or not, where I really start focusing on that. But SmackDown versus Raw 2011, my second WWE Platinum there, and it's a lot rarer than this one. They're all a blur to me, other than the last three or four. As far as trophy list, I'd say the last six are pretty still. But these here, I can't even tell you what was hard about it or harder. And I don't want to click into the game because it actually scrolls up my whole page, and I don't want to do that. For some reason, it's doing that. God of War. Yes. I remember this right before my birthday, November 18th, 2011. At this point, you don't see it here, but I already beat God of War 3. But it's just that I ended up getting the platinum shortly after. So yeah, God of War. I played that on stream not too long ago. But yes, my first God of War platinum. I remember it being kind of challenging. What's up, Donna? Welcome. God of War, it was a little challenging. I mean, nothing like what I'm about to talk about in a bit. But yeah, that was it was fun, and I knew I wanted to do more. Shortly after this, look at this gap here. November 18th, 2011 to August 12th. August 24th, 2012. I went almost a good 8 or 9 months where I truly didn't play. I remember. Would you redo any of these if they remaster? I don't like stacking certain games. I don't like getting double platinums. And for some reason, God of War, I have a perfect list of one of each. I don't know. Some of them don't have a double stack. So it's my OCD. I'm just a little crazy. But I went through a huge gap here where I didn't play anything. If you look at... This is kind of pretty accurate. I might have played a thing or two here and there. But I was going cold turkey. I started a new job working with the company we used to work for, Fueyo. You know what I'm talking about. I started working there at this time, 3 days later after this platinum, and that was just crazy first 8 or 9 months, and barely had any time for myself. Started actually making good money, because before then I wasn't making much of a living, but I just got really caught up in that, and then, the WWE 12. This was, I can't really talk much about it. Doesn't really stand out in my mind. But yes, I got that platinum after that. About 8 months later or something like that. No, 9 months later. Around this time, I decided to play Gotham City Imposters, and this was Crazy Jay. He told me it was a fun game. I'm like, what the heck is this shit? Like, I don't really care about Gotham City like that. So yes, this is an online only game, no platinum. It's closed and unobtainable. So this is the third one on my list. So out of everything here that's not complete, only one is obtainable so far. Guitar Hero Metallica. The others all have closed servers. Then shortly after that, Resident Evil 4. Yes. My first Resident Evil completion. I had platinum Resident Evil 5 already, but that got bumped up on my list because it got DLC and I hadn't done the DLC. But I did have the Resident Evil 5 platinum long before I did the Resident Evil 4. But this is the first official completion, I guess. And this is a hard game. This was a hard completion right here. I'd say harder than it is to get the platinum on the remake. The remake is a tough platinum though, but it's not this level of of difficult, because it's like clunkier controls, and the fact that it didn't have a platinum added like two points of difficulty for me, because it's like, are you kidding me? Resident Evil 4 deserves a platinum. But I was happy it was on modern consoles at the time, so PS3 modern consoles. Then after that, there's a big gap here. Look at this, November 2012 to 2013. I played a lot of stuff in between then. Once again, just games that got platinums or games I played but I didn't complete them yet. So they got bumped up off the list. So that's why there's a 11-month gap here. No, sorry. 13-month gap. Yeah. December 9th, 2013. I played a lot of Mortal Kombat around this time. That was like one of the only games I touched. Fueyo knows that. I was a very good player for that game. There was one game here that I'm going to talk about that's not there, but that's what got me back into. That's what really spiked me. This right here, this point in time, is when I became. Oh shit! What did I just do? Whoa. Where I became a real trophy hunter. Like before then, this was just me trying. I'll get some platinums. Or I like this right here, and that's Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PS3. That was the first platinum I had earned since WWE 12, and that was about 11 months later. It's not here once again. You'll see it up there because they added DLC. But that game is what got me back. At first, I had no intentions of getting any platinum. I did all the online legit. Was playing. I don't even know what boosting was at the time. I was just enjoying myself. By the way, should I increase the size of this? Let me see. Might have to slide this over though. I just want to make sure you guys can see it well. I think you can see it enough. So then I gotta move this thing. Let me see here. Should I move? Sorry, give me a second. I just want to make sure you guys get a better view of the better view. I'm going to increase the size of the browsers. I'm going to slide this over. Trust me, this will be worth it right here. Yep, that's good enough. I'll slide it over in a bit when I'm talking about milestones. That's probably much better, right? All right. Sorry about that. So yes, I did Grand Theft Auto 5, and that sparked immediately just this. Wow, I gotta freaking play this. I gotta try to platinum everything I can in my mind, and just going back to complete a lot of games. You're gonna see a lot of old games come up, and yeah, I played. This is when the PS4 came out. So yeah, November 2013 is when the PS4 came out, and I was playing Grand Theft Auto 5 really heavy at the time, and then I, platinumed that, and that sparked something in me like, wow, that was a long platinum. I can do all these easy games that have been sitting on my list for years, and I try to go back and do everything I could. And the first game on that list was Mortal Kombat. I wanted to get that platinum so bad. Look at the completion percentage, 5.54. And for those that know what that means, that's a really rare platinum. That's the rarest platinum on my list at this point. About 300-400 hours to get this platinum. Just everything you could think of: hard online trophies, grind, luck-based. Trophy hunter's nightmare, essentially. But this is one I'm freaking proud of right here. Mortal Kombat. WWE 2K14. Got that done, right? If you notice, there's no 13 here. I skipped that. But we'll talk about that in a bit. Why? I do have 2K13. But 14, for the record, my favorite of the 2K series is WWE 2K14. I think it had the best roster. It had just... everything was just spot on. It was Yuke's last game that they developed, because they did not Yuke's the last one under the THQ umbrella, I believe, and it was under development when they sold them, and I think they completed it, and then 2K fully took over after that. But Yuke's was still a part of their team. But yes, my favorite one here for various reasons for 2K. Need for Speed Rivals. That's my first PS4 platinum. Yeah, first PS4 platinum. Look at the gaps here. December 2013, December 2013, December 2013. This is one of the craziest months in my life. I was going crazy here. I just got Grand Theft Auto's Platinum. I went right from MK to finish up what I hadn't done yet. I was just cleaning it up here, so I didn't spend those 300 hours in the week. It was like, a week of just wrapping up everything I could. Look at this, December 2013. This is like a couple days apart from each other. I was going absolutely nuts, barely sleeping. Need for Speed Rivals, God of War 2, God of War 3, God of War Chains of Olympus, God of War Ghosts of Sparta, God of War Ascension. By January 6th, I had every God of War Platinum at this time. I completed the entire series in a matter of a month. I can't even tell you guys how tired I probably looked, but I went freaking crazy here. Like, we're talking, I don't even know how many trophies here. Each, like, a lot. Just a lot in a short amount of time. So, yeah, that's, I'm going to count Grand Theft Auto as a platinum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pretty much 9 platinums in the span of a month. Crazy. And then, which I'll just say this about the God of War games. I loved it, though. It was not something that felt like a chore. I was genuinely just loving every game. And just enjoying them. They're just a great series. But yeah, this was all done back to back, and I look back at it, I'm like, shit, I could never do that now. I could never do something like this with my life now. Keep in mind, this is me before having kids. I was with my wife, but we weren't living together yet. So I'm just going absolutely nuts here around this time. My first Metal Gear Solid Platinum. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Obviously not the first time I played this game. I played the original on the PS2. The collection, I had beat all the ones in the collection, but I hadn't gotten the Platinum. So that's why 2 years and 1 month to get the Platinum. This was really just like a couple days worth of cleaning things up. I think I had to do another playthrough, but regarded as probably the best Metal Gear Solid in the series for a lot of Metal Gear fans. And it's got the easiest trophy list. So I would say a damn good one if anyone here hasn't gotten Metal Gear Solid Platinum to go for that one. So Snake Eater. Family Game Night. I started realizing which games are kind of easy, so I did a few of those. WWE Legends of WrestleMania. Back to the Future. Just, yes. Metal Gear Solid 2. My next real... Whew. This game right here, guys. Let me tell you. I almost quit. I almost quit right I was ahead. I was like... I'm talking about 3 weeks straight of just playing this game. Because you had to do 5 playthroughs. And you have to do each difficulty and get every collectible. And it's not just like regular collectibles. In Metal Gear Solid 2, you have to collect these dog tags. These dog tags, the only way you get them is if you hold up a guard. If you go up behind them, and Snake goes, freeze. And then he makes them shake. Oh, don't shoot me. You know, it's a Russian. The enemies are Russian. But yeah, you know, they give you their dog tag. You have to do that for every enemy on every difficulty. I don't even want to tell you how difficult that was. It was annoying, and you have to do one with perfect stealth without being caught. So I think the way it made it easier for me was I could use my stealth camouflage, which you get for a perfect stealth run. And I think I remember having that, which means they can't see you. Certain scenarios, it didn't help you much, but the amount of chore this was almost ruined the series of Metal Gear Solid for me, which I is number 1 on my list as far as series. And this trophy list damn near broke me. And when that wasn't bad enough, extreme difficulty has one of those trophies in there. No, it has one of those boss fights in there that just took me hours and hours. I remember it took me like 4 or 5 hours to finally beat him. Just one of my one of my most proudest platinums, and this completion percentage is very deceptive. I think it's just a lot of people love the game, so they will stick to it to try to get the platinum. Then there's 200 something VR missions or something like that. Maybe even 500. I don't remember. It's in the hundreds. and it's a lot, and they're hard, and you got to get S rank for all those. Yes, this game, I absolutely hated it. You're going to be hearing me say that a lot going forward, right? This is still January, by the way, guys. January Ascension 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 platinums in January. No, 7 platinums in WWE 13. So there's a reason I skipped 13. I went right to 14. I was trying WWE 13 for the longest to get the platinum. And if I'm not mistaken, this is my rarest platinum. 0.4%. 0.40, which is 0.4, essentially. But, yes. This game right here, the only thing that made this game hard was that you had to reach the maximum rank online. That doesn't sound so bad. You love WWE, don't you? Yes, I do. And I damn sure was good at the game to get there. But guess what? Guess what happened? The game was broken. The servers would disconnect you every time you turn off your console. There was like a 50-50 chance that you when you come back, it's going to reset your rank to the beginning. And they never fixed this, by the way. Everybody was petitioning online, please fix the rankings. It's impossible to rank up. You have to reach the maximum rank. And in order to do that, you had to win like 600 matches. So what did I do to achieve it? I got my good friend, Crazy J, to help me with that. And he was, every day after work, I would come home. Mind you, I didn't turn off my PlayStation for a week because I didn't want to reset my rank. I would leave it on for about 3 or 4 days, for hours. He would hit me with a chair to DQ himself and give me the win. So the amount of like shit I went through for this platinum is incredible. Like, I think this is my first real boosting platinum right here. That was nuts. Like, yeah, this was crazy. There's no words to describe a whole week of that. Scariest moment of the whole thing, when I got to the max rank, the trophy did not pop, and I was losing my mind. So what did I do? I waited minutes and it was not popping up. I'm like, I tried a few more matches, it was not popping up. I had to turn off my PlayStation in order for me to get the to try to get the trophy to pop. And when I signed online, the trophy popped, and I literally ran around my house screaming in joy. I remember that like it was yesterday. I was so happy when I got that platinum, because this was a monster right here, a monster of a game. That's why a lot of people, if you look at, if they have a lot of WWE platinums, a lot of them don't have this one. This is the one that escaped most people. 13. So yeah, the only one harder than that is 2K21, which never came out. So nobody has that one. All right, moving on to another beast right here. So what was I doing January 2014? My God, I spent this is just a matter of 2 months, guys. Like, the amount of shit I went through in a matter of 2 months, like, I don't know what was up. Something must have went wrong in my mind, and this is why I was playing so much. Metal Gear Solid 4: Guns of the Patriot. So I'm obviously going for the whole Metal Gear Solid stack here. I was like, and I know why. I think Metal Gear Solid 5 was coming out in September that year. So I was like, man, you got to get the platinum for that. We got to get the platinum for all the Metal Gear Solids. And this game right here, Metal Gear Solid 4, actually came out in 2008, before platinums were even a thing. So I went ahead and finally decided to like go for the platinum for the Metal Gear Solid 4. And boy, this was tough. 8 playthroughs in order to get the platinum, at minimum 8. And it just included a ton of very tedious things, and you had to watch every cutscene, which I didn't mind because I watched it anyways, but there was like these flashbacks. You had to make sure that you press the flashback during the cutscene. If you missed that flashback, it's over. The trophy was not popping. And there was a lot of people at the time that were struggling with that one. So, Metal Gear Solid 4, 8 playthroughs. One of them we had to get the big boss rank, which means you had to be full stealth. You couldn't be seen not even once. You couldn't kill anybody. You had to do it under 5 hours. And luckily, I think there was no save restriction. That's what made it a bit easier. So I could save and then try my best at every segment in the game. Just slowly chip away at it until you get the time. That was difficult, very, very difficult. And one of the ones I'm also very proud of, another ultra rare platinum right here. PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale. All I'll say about this, very fun, and I wish they'll make a PlayStation All Stars 2. I'll keep that one short and sweet, but that's a very fun platinum. And if my memory serves me right, I think I have it on here twice. I did it on the PS Vita as well. Ratchet and Clank All for One. Believe it or not, this is the first Ratchet and Clank game I ever played in my life. The only reason I played it was because it was a free game on PSN, and it took me a year and 4 months because this is one of those games I cleaned up. Yes, I went back. It was one of those that I was playing 2012, 13, and I decided I want to go back and clean up. Boom, got that one. Not difficult at all. Assassin's Creed 2, my favorite Assassin's Creed, and the only one I ever enjoyed. 3 years, 8 months, also cleaned this one up. The one thing that happened that almost made me lose my mind, I remember a chapter of story progression trophy didn't pop. I think it was sequence number 7, chapter 7, I think. And I had to replay the game up to that point and then pray that the platinum popped, and clearly it did. So that one's my trophy list is everything's good except that one's my last trophy, which should never have been the case. Walking Dead. First time I ever got a taste of Telltale games. I think a lot of people's first Telltale game. Walking Dead. Such a great story. Easy platinum. All you have to do is play through it. I love that game, that first one. There's not a single one has come close as far as the Walking Dead games to the original one. As far as like just solid story. Trivial Pursuit, Megamind, Up. I just went on a bit of a spree here of easier games, it looks like. I damn sure earned it after all this. I mean, look at Metal Gear Solid games and WWE 13. Those alone were enough to drive a person mad. So, no shame for me right there. I was happy as hell to take some easy games here. Easy for the time. Now, these games are like average completion, just to be clear. Like, this is like 20-hour games. At that time, these games were easy. 10-hour game was like, oh, that's nothing. This is a PS3 era right here, you know? So I have a PS4, if you notice, around this time, but I'm playing a lot of PS3 still, right? So, which was killing me, in all honesty, right? Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, 2 weeks and 6 days. So this is the only one that I actually didn't have on my profile when I first started trophy hunting, like hardcore like this, when I started cleaning up my past games. But Peace Walker, tough game overall, like not nearly as tough as the other Metal Gears, but definitely some good difficulty to it. But once you like get OP, it gets easier. So it was all good. Then Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. Now this is not the Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain, which we'll talk about later. This came out separately for those that remember. 4.19% for completion. Oh, that's not bad actually. Yeah, 2 days, 14 hours are very short. You can do it in a couple hours if you're good at Metal Gear games. But if you're not, it's still very doable with a guide. So yeah, love this. It was getting me ready for Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain, which was coming out in September of this year. Was it this year or 15? I don't remember. It had to be this year. That's why I was doing all that, right? But anyway, CSI Fatal Conspiracy, another easy one. Just kind of like, you'll see on my list, I like to reward myself with some easier games after I do some hard ones. Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, May 2014. I already had this platinum long before that. Long before that day, I had this platinum. 4 years and 7 months completed. 4 years. So I went back to do this game, and this is where I met some people that I'm still friends with to this day. And we formed a little group called N3H. What was that? I used to hate Wii. I used to hate what? I saw you play those games, these games, all the hard games you were here. Sure does make it up. Yeah, it does. I think that's what you're trying to say. I think you had a few typos there. All the hard games I have, yeah, it balances out. I mean, and I don't even have a lot of easy games. Like I'm talking really easy. Um, Uncharted 2. Yeah, so we formed a little group called N3H, Never Ending Hunt. If these guys end up catching it, um, the stream, cool, hopefully. But yeah, it was a boosting group, and we helped each other a lot with online games, and still friends with a lot of them to this day. And it's on a separate server than RSTR, but um, still I met some really good people like Malonzo, like that boy Blaze, like Rachel, aka Meso, TS Hip Hop. I'm shouting all those people out. People that a lot of those in RSTR don't really know. But yeah, always great to catch up with them whenever we do. But yeah, this here is why. And the single player platinum is easy, but look at the ultra rare completion, 0.7% of players. This is Uncharted we're talking about. So this is a very rare platinum because of the online. Online was just a grind. And now here's Grand Theft Auto 4. Grand Theft Auto 4 on the PS3. One of my proudest platinums and completions, without a doubt. 5 years and 7 months. This is one of those games that was patched I played it before there was trophies for it. Grand Theft Auto 4 didn't have trophies. It came out in June 2008, I want to say, and it got trophies later that year, like December. And I started playing it, and I was going for the platinum. I did mostly everything. Hardest thing in this game is the online. That's the theme for a lot of these. The online was just brutal. 0.48 completion. 0.48 for 100%. Even the platinum's 0.93. So it's very difficult, this game. And I gotta say, this is one of the proudest games on my list. Just sheer determination to get it. And I actually made a guide for how to get the max rank online being AFK, meaning away from keyboard. So, you're, as a guide on YouTube on this same channel, I've got a ton of views on it. But I didn't do the whole thing like that. I did a lot of it legit, and then I learned about the glitch, and then I was like, there's no actual guide to help you get to the max rank. So put together a little guide there, and to this day it gets a good amount of views, so yay me, right? But I did it just to help everybody at the time. But yeah, there's some really hard co-op trophies too in it. So yeah, it's very long platinum. I don't even know what number we're talking. Maybe 200 hours total, maybe more for it. A lot of these are like Peace Walker, like 80 hours. So I'm completing games here that are long, and I'm doing it in a short amount of time. But this one, this is when I was cleaning up. But this is when I finally finished it, and this is one, like I said, super proud of it. 2 DLC packs too on top of those online games, like the Ballad of Gay Tony and the Lost in the Dam DLC. Those also have tough trophies within them. That's why this is such a rare completion, 0.48. So, pat myself on the back on that one. Assassin's Creed 3, the game that made me swear I would never play an Assassin's Creed game again on my main profile. And I'm proud to say 9 years later, I have stuck to that. I've never played Assassin's Creed again after this. And I'll say this. I might play it again if a game is, I feel like, good enough. But they're just, I don't know. The trophy lists are always so boring. This game was like one of those that really made me question myself. Like, what the hell are you doing with your life right now? I hated it. And it wasn't nearly as bad as some of the ones I completed. I just didn't like it. It was such a waste of time for me. And this is also one that was on my profile, completed a year and 1 month. This is about 6 months after I took that challenge upon myself to try to go back and clean up everything that I possibly could on my trophy list. And this is one of those that was on there, and I followed through with it. It's got some annoying DLC. It's got 1.14% completion for total completion. So it's a rare one. It's kind of rare. Probably because it sucks, in my opinion. I know there's people that love Assassin's Creed 3, but 2 is so much better, and the main character is just too boring for me for 3. All right. Madden NFL 11. What could I really say about this game? Nothing. It's just a football game. It's an ultra rare platinum though. Shit. 3.89, 84. I don't remember it being that hard. I know there's some challenges in there, but I actually liked Madden at this time. I used to buy all the Maddens up until like this year, actually 11. I stopped after that, probably because of this trophy list. I think about it. So I think, you know what, UFC 2009. So clearly, this is years later. I'm completing old ass games right now that at this time 4 years seemed like, oh my god, that's such an old game, but damn, that's 9 years ago that I completed it. And look at this, how the rarity, 0.45%. I'm gonna admit something to you guys right now that I'm ashamed of. I broke the fucking game in half. I was so mad at this one trophy. I pulled out. This is shortly after my wife and I finally moved in together around this time. So you're gonna see my playtime just. I went hard. That's probably why I was going so hard, because I had just moved. I was just moving in with my wife. I knew that it was coming up, so I knew that I was gonna be. It's gonna cut down on my game time. But this game was recently after we moved in together, and she looked at me. She was like, "What the hell is wrong with you? Why did you break your game?" I'm like, "Cause I couldn't do the challenge." She's like, "Then get better at it." I was like, "Fuck. How dare you?" I'm like, it's broken now. I had to go buy a fucking other one at GameStop. I remember going to GameStop the same day, and I went back home, and I just took a deep breath, and I kept going on with whatever it was. It was these little challenges in it. It's always challenges, isn't it, right? Just this game, it might be my. I'm gonna scroll up when I get to it. I'm gonna see. I think this is actually my rarest platinum. I thought it was WWE. What was WWE? This is 0.45. WWE. Oh no, WWE is 0.40. Okay, so. Yeah, WWE still has it beat, but this is close. 0.45. UFC 2009, which I don't even like UFC. This is one of the things that I hated about doing some of these games, is that they were not games that I particularly cared about, that I was just on my profile because either a friend brought it over, or I don't know, I bought it on sale, tried it once, and I was like, this sucks, and never wanted to play again. But when I took that personal commitment to try to clean up all my old games to raise my completion percentage, because I think it was like 0.68 or something like that. I think that was the number when I really started focusing on it and started slowly chucking away at these. It was really low, under 70% completion percentage. But yeah, this was one of those, and I hated every minute of it. I did The Walking Dead again. Like I said, you're gonna see the pattern here. I'm rewarding myself with some easier games, and to this day I keep up that tradition. So I did this game again. Obviously, Walking Dead, I love that game, so I redid it on the Vita. Then I went to Resident Evil 5. Remember how I said I had platinumed it already? Completed 5 years, 4 months. That's because they added multiplayer, and they added Lost in Nightmares DLC, which was with Chris and Jill, which I loved that they did that. And there's also another DLC with just Jill, and I forgot the other character's name. He's not a big Resident Evil character, but and also the multiplayer. That's one of the reasons that I didn't do it. But remember, at this time I'm really heavy with my N3H group, Never Ending Hunt, and I did it with a group of them. We completed it, got the 100%. That's why it's 5 years, 4 months for this completion. Commitment. Resident Evil 6. So I felt natural to follow up with RE6. 0.89 percentage, and that's just because the DLC trophies just suck and they're horrible. Yes. And the game was not great. It's regarded as probably one of the worst Resident Evils. I didn't hate it as much as some people do. Even though I'm a diehard RE fan, I didn't hate it as much as some people do. I thought it was okay. Had it not had the Resident Evil name on it, I would have thought, oh my god. But comparing it to the older Resident Evils, it was just not a good game. But yeah, hopefully they maybe remake it one day, make it better. Who knows? Shit, that thing is like 1 year 9 months. So it came out 2012 then. So 11 years old now. If Dead Space can get a remake, so can Resident Evil 5 and 6, right? Marvel vs. Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes. 4 years, 5 months. Another cleanup game. You're gonna see so many cleanup games. But this is a game I actually love. Played this before it was even on PlayStation 3. Played it on the PS2. Played it in the arcade. The real arcade with coins. Some kids don't even know what coins are nowadays. But yes, I played this in the arcade. So I've always liked some fighting games. I'm not hardcore, but I've always liked fighting games at the very least. But this is one that I was very happy to complete here. 0.97 for no platinum, sadly. Dead Space 3. So Dead Space 3. Okay, so I remember I took kind of a break around this time. Yeah, look at that. August 2014, October. Yeah, I remember taking like a couple months break around this time. I felt like I was losing my mind a bit because this is all 2014. Like all this is 2014 and the crazy end of 2013. So I took like a 2 month break here. This is all like a legit break. I remember not touching my PlayStation for a while. I was just, whew. But Dead Space 3, took my break, went back at it. Not a really hard trophy list that I remember. 2.3. Not the best Dead Space 2. But I would say not horrible either, you know. Welcome Park, this is that that stupid game that you get with the Vita when it comes out. And I think I was at 0%. But it was on my backlog, and at this time, you couldn't delete 0% games. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to clean it up. There we go. 2 hours, 24 minutes to complete it. It wasn't even hard. I remember my mom was getting surgery when I did this game. And in the waiting room, I actually took my Vita with me to the waiting room when my mom was getting surgery. I think this was when she got surgery on her shoulder. And I played in the game in the waiting room while she was in recovery, you know. Made good use of that time. Got my mind off of being worried too. So, you know, gaming's always been an escape for me for whenever I'm like, you know, real life stuff's getting to me, you know. Sometimes I go a little overboard. And I think this was a tough year for me personally right here. 2014, there's a lot of changes and moving in and some job changes and all that other stuff. So I was gaming very heavy. You know, it goes kind of hand in hand. And looking back at it, it's like, this is a true sign for me, like how much I leaned on gaming. Looking back at it, it's just fucking crazy the amount of hard games I did in 2014. Then Dead Space 2 comes along, another really hard platinum. This was the one trophy here that's really hard is called Hard to the Core, and you basically have 3 saves to complete the game. And the enemies hit a bit harder than normal. They're not as hard as, like, I think it's Survivor difficulty. Or Zelo. I might be confusing the difficulty names. Like I said, I don't want to click into it because it's going to scroll me up. But that's why I'm not clicking into it. But this is one I had to go back and do. 2 years and 1 month. So this game, super proud of it. This is one of my favorite platinums. It's an ultra rare completion, 3.5. You know, very special to me. And I was like, you know what, Dead Space series, I was trying to complete all of them. Because if you remember Dead Space 1, I did it a while back. I clearly did Dead Space 2 around launch, but I didn't get the platinum because it was so hard and I wasn't as dedicated. So 2 years and a month later, I came back to it. And yeah, here we go. Street Fighter 4. This is one that was on my list for a while, and I had like 1 or 2 trophies. I think it's still obtainable to this day, but this is a very, very hard platinum. 0.61%. This is for diehard Street Fighter fans. Those trials and stuff. Very long and boring online grind as well. I think it's still obtainable if I'm not mistaken. I'm not even sure about that. I'm gonna look into it afterwards. Excuse me, not because I think I'm gonna get the platinum, but just out of curiosity to see if there's actually another game on my list I can't complete. But yes, one of those games I'm just not going to go back and try to get that because I know my limits, and this would take up so much time for me to master to just get a platinum. It's not worth it to me anymore. It's really not. And even at this time, I was like, nah, I know my limits. I could spend months on this one game right here trying to master it. And no thanks. I'll keep it incomplete. Uncharted Golden Abyss. Probably the weakest entry of the whole series, but it's still a good game. And it was on the only one we got on the Vita. Aside from that stupid card game, Charted something, I don't know. There was a card game. It was like a side game, but I don't even count that crap. But it was kind of tough too. There were some sections I remember having some difficulty, but I'm showing my Vita some love here. You see that Vita. So I did quite a bit of Vita games here. Mortal Kombat. My God, look at all these fighting games. Holy shit. Yeah, I remember what I was trying to do here. I was trying to clean them up, like just trying to get as many trophies as I could and then put them down. This one though, Marvel vs. Capcom 3: Fate of Two Worlds, is one that I feel like I could complete if I really dedicated some time. It's the least rarest out of the ones that are here in this list here. 1.8. It's just like these trials you have to do. You got to do the combos, and my reflexes aren't what they used to be, but I can put together combos. I can maybe give this one a shot one day, and if I do, my God, the last trophy I got was November 2014. I think it would be like if I were to complete it today, it would be like 12 years to get the platinum. That would be my longest platinum gap that I have between the first trophy and the last. So this is one I do want to do. Out of all the games incomplete on my list, there's only 19 if you don't count the one I'm working on. This is only 2 games I will go back to do if I really set my mind to it, and that's this one here. And the other one I'll talk about in a bit. Mortal Kombat on the Vita. The first game I got on my Vita, even harder than the one on the PS3, because you can't have 2 controllers and fight yourself to get some of the trophies that are like to grind. Because in order to get the platinum, you have to get 150 fatalities with each characters. Either fatalities or X-rays, or 100 fatalities and 150 X-rays. Is one of those two. 24 hours of gameplay with each character, and I'm talking about 28 characters or so. It's either between 26, 28 characters, and I think the Vita had 2 more characters than the regular console, which makes it harder. And it had an extra tower. This game, they shut down the servers. This is one I would go for now if I could, because I know Mortal Kombat, out of all the fighting games, is the one I'm best at. I'm not good at Street Fighter. I'm not good at King of Fighters, Tekken, BlazBlue. I'm not good at any of those. But yeah, this is one that if it was open, the servers, I would go back for. King of Fighters, just cleaned that up, and there's one game that I had 1 or 2 trophies in because it was a free game. Boy, do I regret ever putting that on my list. BlazBlue, I blame one of my friends. His name is Eric. If you're watching, Eric, I owe you a good smack upside the head for bringing this over to my house. But I played BlazBlue just to clean it up around this time. And I absolutely regret ever putting this game on my profile. It is obtainable, though. These are all obtainable except Mortal Kombat. These are still obtainable to this day. It's just they're very hard. They have these trials and stuff that I just can't deal with. All right. Walking Dead Season 2. 100%. I was very excited that it came out with this game. But they didn't have a platinum, so I was like, boo. No thanks. I mean, I did it, but I was just not happy about it. To this day, I hate the fact that it doesn't have a platinum. Because it was just as long as the first game. Then they decided not to put a platinum trophy on it, which is just bullshit. WWE 2K15. So it's been a while since we've seen a WWE game, but not because they haven't released for a while, but because I had such a long year of trophy hunting here of just different. This is all still 2014. My God. Holy shit, 2014. That's got to be the top of my like top tier list right there of years. So 2K15, the first WWE game on PS4. Um, Kind of a rare platinum. I know it has some online game trophies, which is probably what made it a little harder for some people. But I didn't find it hard at all because I was, like I said, I freaking breathe, live. I live and breathe these games, WWE 2K games. So it wasn't too hard for me personally, but I know it's kind of difficult for some. I think you needed like 50 wins online. I think I got it like on the first 2 days because I was just playing a lot. Walking Dead season 2 again. So did it on the Vita. I'm just trying to get as many platinums as trophies as possible at this point, and while completing the games. Like you can see here, I'm just really dialed in. That was December 2014. So I probably played something else around this time, and it just got bumped up. Oh, yes, I know what got bumped up. Uncharted 3, but we'll talk about that in a second. Okay, Killzone 2. Now, this is one of my rarest completions as well. This is a very hard game. The campaign on Elite difficulty is infamously hard. 5 years and 10 months to complete this. So this is one I cleaned up, and at the time, to this day, one of the hardest platinums for sure. And the 100% for it was tough as well. But 5 years, 10 months to complete this bad boy. The online you had to be in the top percentage. I forgot the exact number, but you have to be in a certain percentage for the week. So you have to play as much as you could for a week. And I remember doing it on Christmas week. I remember I was off of work most of that week, and I just played a lot. This is before I had kids, because now that shit wouldn't mean a damn thing as far as gaming if I was off during Christmas. It would be probably less gaming if anything. But at the time, no kids. Was playing really hard to get that in that top percentage, and I was boosting the trophies because the servers are dead. So I was playing a lot. 2 PlayStation 3s, freaking killing my other accounts. I had a couple of other N3H people join me to try to get the trophies. Crazy to get this platinum right here. Even seeing that as a 0.85, I'm like, wow, that's kind of high, because I expect that percentage should be lower. I guess a lot of people went hard before they closed the servers, but it used to be a lot lower than that. I think people just, because they were going to close the servers, they just powered through that thing and got the trophies. But man, this is a tough one. That campaign alone, without the multiplayer, was hard. But the multiplayer trophies were just even worse. All right. Super proud of that one. High Velocity Bowling. One of the first games I got on PS3, actually. And then they added trophies to it. I thought it would be fun to get them. And I got a few trophies when it first came out, all the way in like 2008 or so. And yes, they closed the servers. And as I was trying to clean up the game a bit, they closed the servers at some point. I think at this point when I got my last trophy, they hadn't closed it, but there's just one in there that's really hard. And I was waiting and waiting. I think 2 years later or so, they closed them down. So this is unobtainable. So, wow. Uncharted 3. Uncharted 3 completed 3 years. Another cleanup game. This game. This is why there's a kind of a gap here. December, I'm only playing these little WWE Walking Dead because this game right here, Uncharted 3, I spent months boosting the trophies here. Months. I'm talking about having to get up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning to meet up with people in the UK to boost, to try to get all these really, really difficult online trophies. On top of there being luck-based ones. I remember I had turbo remotes set up on 2 PlayStation 3s, self-boosting, trying to get these treasure drops. They were completely random drops for these. And I know there's some friends of mine from that boosting group, it took them a long time to finally get the drop. Some really difficult co-op trophies, like infamously known as, one of them is infamously known, for just being difficult. His name is Overseer. And that one's just a fucking bitch. There's no other way to describe it. to get. And I remember when I got it with my group. I remember my group. It was Heathen Child, TS Hip Hop. We did those trophies there for the game. And man, were we happy we got the freaking trophy, Overseer. But there was some other really hard ones, but that one was just infamously hard. Look at this, point 0.3 rarity. 0.3. That's how rare it is to get the 100% for the Uncharted series. So Uncharted 2 and 3 were so really difficult, but 3 was much worse. But we're talking about 0.3%. The PS4 ones, I don't care what anybody says. Brutal is hard, but those trophy lists are nothing compared to the PS3 ones. I take difficulty in a campaign over the online shit that I had to deal with this game any day. 0.3%, and I went back to clean it up. I think this was my 50th platinum, I want to say, as well. I had the platinum before this time period. It was around this time when I got the Blaze Blue and all that. I was doing those fighting games, I think. I remember getting the platinum for this, but I didn't. 100% is a whole other story. Walking Dead again. Yes. What is there to say about this game? The Walking Dead again. Whatever, fucking hell. Oh my god. Yes. The infamous sound shapes. What the hell is sound shapes? Well, so the thing is, this is the first auto pop platinums that I ever even knew about, and I think it was maybe one of the first period for trophy hunters. I did the Vita one, right? That's the one I did my trophies on. At the time, my wife would hog the TV a lot, and I want to spend time with you, so I would play on my Vita a lot. That's why the Vita came in handy, right? But anyways, I did the first platinum, which is actually, there's some difficult shit in there. There's some difficult stuff to do. Obviously, you get 5 platinums. Afterwards, you have to do all the different stacks. I actually had a friend of mine help me get these stacks. I had no idea how to get the European, Asian, how to buy the other versions of the game. So I bought all these versions of the game just to get the platinum. I'm not proud of it. I'm gonna just say it. That's what happened. So, not proud of it, but damn, I had, after the freaking year I had in 2014, this was like the ultimate payoff. Like, holy shit. Like, but yes, I got 5 free platinums essentially for doing one. Don't hate the player, hate PSN. But I did it, and if I could go back, I probably wouldn't do this though. I would now today's day and age, the way I see things with trophy hunting, I wouldn't do this. Maybe just the one other stack, another one, like maybe the North American PS4 version, and that's it. But I wouldn't do the Japanese, European and whatnot. Again, nope. I'm good. But there's nothing I could do about it because you can't delete trophies off your list. If I could, there'd be a few I'd freaking delete right now. And I'm not talking about stuff I complete that's incomplete. I'm talking about stuff that I did complete like this. But, I can't change the past now. So, hey, I said I'm going to talk about my journey for better or for worse, right? So, Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PS3. So this is the one, like I said, it started it all. And they finally added the heist trophies at some point before this. It happened way before March 2015, but this is when I finally decided to go back to the game that kind of started it all, like the real hardcore trophy hunting for me, and go back and complete it. So it's 0.53 to this day to complete it, and the platinum itself is a very long game, 100 plus hours. Spent a lot of time on the PS3 version. I'm not talking PS4 version, because the PS4 version, we're going to have a whole conversation about that. PS3 version is just the Heist Trophies DLC. And I played it as much as I could. At this time, I was already playing, I think I started playing the PS4 version of the game. So I wanted to clean those up and get those done. And I did. So, I was already playing no, I hadn't played the PS4 version yet. It was shortly after this year. Yes. 2015. But yes. So, yes, easily a 200-hour completion right here on the PS3 version. Tetris. I think. Oh yeah, 1 month, 3 weeks. I think. Yeah, This game was It was on my list at 0%. That's the only reason I would even go play Tetris because I don't care about Tetris. It was a 0%. You couldn't delete those yet. That's why it was only a month because I'm like I cleaned that up. I remember, but it was 0%, and it only tracks when you get your first trophy to your last. The Last of Us. Whoo! That's my baby right there. Online trophies on the PS3 version sucked, and grounded difficulty is very very difficult, and definitely one of those games that you must play if you own a PlayStation. Period. Whether it's on PS4 version or the remake, this game is a must play, and well worth the toughness of the online trophies and the DLC. That Space Extraction is a rail shooter. Little Big Planet also cleaned that up. These are games I didn't really want to play, to be honest with you. Like, I just hated even going back to those and doing anything. But this game, 6 years, 5 months, complete. So, not a big fan of Little Big Planet. And it was a big thing back in 2008, I think, when it came out. But anyways, moving on, Battlefield 3. This a big boosting. Like, there's just a lot of online trophies for this game. Did a lot of boosting sessions, early morning, difficult co-op trophies. My one and only Battlefield on my list. I've never been a big fan of it, but believe it or not, I did enjoy it. I don't like getting into multiplayer games because there's just a time sink. So yeah. The Playroom. This is it came with the PS4. A lot of pretty easy trophy list, but 0.61%. There's one trophy in there I think is a little annoying, and I think most people just don't ever touch the game after they play it. It was nowhere near as good as Astro's Playroom. Those games are actually good. The Playroom was not good at all. Killzone Shadowfall. Wow, this is a monster right here. For a long time was very few people had the 100%. I remember when I got the 100%, there was only 300 other people that had it. And we're talking about Killzone Shadowfall, one of the first. It was a launch title for the PS4. Really long online trophies. You're gonna hear me say that a lot, right? Because it's the truth. Online trophies were the freaking Achilles heel, are the Achilles heel to trophy hunters. So Killzone Shadowfall. 0.33, and then there's a really difficult campaign as well, just like Killzone 2, where you gotta go through some the game. You couldn't die in each level. You're supposed to be the whole game without dying, but you can back up your save, which I used to my advantage. No shame here in admitting that. You can use to your advantage to get through it, but still, it was harder than the hardest difficulty, and you could die in one hit. So it was a very frustrating game to get the 100%. And boosted this. Took me quite a lot of hours to do, in the 200 plus hours easily too, right here. Modern Warfare 2, 5 years, 6 months. I finally started going back to play some of my Call of Duty games that eluded me for years. These two games right here, just a lot of Spec Ops missions. I did love going back to them because I was a big fan, but I was happy to go back to Modern Warfare with these games here. Saints Row the Third, boo, that's all I'll say. GTA knockoff. Never been a fan of Saints Row, but this is also on my list. 2 years, 1 week. War That War. Oh my god. This platinum. I got this platinum. This is one of my first platinums right here, but I had to go back and finish the zombies. But let me tell you about the platinum for this game. To beat the game on veteran, it's nowadays, I don't think any game is coming even close to that difficulty. Forget Dark Souls, forget Demon Souls, forget Elden Ring. This game's veteran difficulty would make a grown man cry. It was just a shower of grenades everywhere you go. There's It's like you're the only soldier on the field against the enemy. World at War, I think to this day has the hardest veteran campaign out of any Call of Duty, and I played almost all the Call of Duty campaigns. The last, yeah, the last few, yes. There was a few in the middle that I didn't really play, and I'll get to that later. But no, I did play them. I just didn't put on my trophy list. I played. I think there's only one that I didn't. But anyways, World at War's veteran campaign. My God, make a grown man cry, and I was so happy when I finally did it. The Wolf Among Us, triple stack, back to back to back, in celebration of my Call of Duty victories here. I think so. I went ham here. The PS3, the Vita, PS4 version, and a great game. I definitely overkilled it. By the time I finished the PS4 version, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to play this game ever again. But there's a part 2 coming out. Looking forward to that. See how they continue that story. So, Transformers War for Cybertron. Cleanup game. 5 years, 1 month. I don't even know how this game ended up on my trophy list, to be completely honest with you. I think I had to rebuy it because I think a friend of mine played it, and it was an okay game, actually. It was a little dated by this point, but it has some online trophies, which are tough, and I definitely boosted with people. But yeah, that one was done. 3.92%, so ultra rare platinum. WWE 2K16, probably my second favorite of the 2K series of WWE. And it was actually a pretty difficult platinum. There was a really long grind for the career mode that really deterred a lot of people. It's 0.53. I mean, it's not too far from 2K13. 2013, I should say. Well, it was before it turned into 2K. But this is 0.53, so this is a really rare one. And online, too. I think this one had online trophies. Game of Thrones, Tales from the Borderlands. Play those back to back. I think back to back days. Look at that. I just decided, hey, I'm gonna get 1 platinum each day. But these games were Game of Thrones. Funny enough, if anyone's actually a Game of Thrones fan of the show, I didn't even watch the series yet at this point. So I was playing the game just because it was Telltale, and I thought it was an easy platinum, and the story was actually pretty good. And it got me interested in the show. And guess what? I started watching the show about a year later. Actually, less than a year later. I think that summer I started watching it. Tales from the Borderland, boring ass game though. On the other hand, I would never want to play that again. The Order 1886, very short game, short platinum obviously, but a pretty good game. I think that game deserves another shot one day. You know, the Game of Thrones again. Until Dawn. This game was on the shorter end of the platinums as well, but it was definitely fun. I love that game. I thought it was the different endings were interesting, and the decisions you make, the characters were funny. So a really good game. I know a lot of people who enjoy it. So they had the Tales of the Borderland again. God help me. So I did Game of Thrones and Tales of the Borderlands twice right here. I'm doing a lot of Telltale games right here. The Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Platinum in 5 months, 1 week. Funny enough, when this game came out, I put it off for quite a while because I was so burned out and I was just so focused on cleaning up my trophy list and all that stuff. Speaking of a Metal Gear Solid fan, I didn't actually play through the game till like months and months later, and really like said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna platinum this game, and I think I did. Yeah, platinum 5 months to 1 week. So yeah, I popped so it came out in 2015. Then it wasn't 14, 2015 that it came out. So I put it off for a while, and I was just focused on other stuff, and I finally went for it, and it took me a good month and a half or so to platinum it because this is a 200-hour platinum right here. But man, I love that game, and I hope that I hope to play it again one day. So I for a long time thought that was the last time I was ever going to play Metal Gear Solid because for everything that happened with Kojima and Konami. I thought that was the last Metal Gear ever. But I was wrong. Metal Gear is back. We're getting Metal Gear Solid remakes soon and remasters and all that good stuff. PlayStation Battle Royale again. The Vita version this time. Not much to say there. Fun game. Like I said, I hope we get an All-Star Battle Royale too. Really do. Mortal Kombat X. Not nearly as hard as 9, but still quite difficult. Look at that, 0.89. Still a lot of hours. This is a good 80-hour plus game. But I didn't like it nearly as much as 9. I think out of the last 3, 9, 10, and 11, 10 is the worst by far for me. Did not spend nearly as much time on it. I didn't like the new characters either. Then I did Resident Evil Revelations. I went on a Resident Evil spree here. Wow. Revelations 1, 2, and then I did Raccoon City. All back to back to back. Revelations is the better one out of these two. 2 I didn't like as much. But 1 is... This is a harder platinum, though. Way harder platinum. It's not just the campaign, but you also have, like, the... Well, I think they're called raids or something like that. They're like these stage clears and, you know, getting S ranks. Ooh, who loves S ranks? I hate S ranks. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. Biggest piece of shit in the series. No, actually, Umbrella Corps is. Second biggest piece of shit in the series. 1.78 rarity. I did not enjoy this game one bit. So, that's all I'll say about that one. Renegade Ops, cleanup game. Just finally willed myself to do it. Grand Theft Auto 3. So now I'm going back to one of the games that held so near and dear to my heart during the PS2 era. Grand Theft Auto 3. Yeah, this was not fun to go back to because I forgot just how clunky that game is, and compared to 4 and 5, it's such a downgrade. But man, this game was special to me, you know. I did Vice City, these games in between, the Resident Evil, these are long games. You need 100% for, but you know, these are not really they're like recaps of the stories of the game, so they're not like mainline entries, and it's just a crime that they don't have platinums to them. That's all I'll say about those two. But Vice City, this is actually out of the trilogy on the PS4 versions, probably the toughest one as far as grind, but still love the Vice City. I hope that GTA 6 is actually in Vice City, like the rumors say or the leaks say. So it's almost pretty much confirmed, but. Yes, looking forward to what GTA 6 is like. If it's anywhere near as good as Vice City, then I'm gonna love it. All right, 2K17, WWE 2K17. So this is the only sports game that's been constant in my life. Pretty long and hard platinum once again. 0.59. The campaign was just a bore fest. Just a lot of grindiness. That's not one that I enjoyed. I know that much. But that's actually a year before our WWE League started, which we're getting to in a bit. BioShock. I've never been a big fan of BioShock. And what I'll say about BioShock is, like, I should give it a shot again in this day and age to see if I enjoy it more. At the time, I just wasn't that interested in BioShock. And it was one that, you know, took a lot of, like, how can I say it? I didn't want to commit myself to it for the longest. So, just because I didn't like it. So, in San Andreas, boy, was this game fun to go back to. I was like, I just realized how far ahead San Andreas was for its time, because it's such a huge leap from Vice City and everything you can do. And I guess that's why some people don't like 4 as much, because they felt like it was a bit of a downgrade, you know. Then I went back to Call of Duty. Call of Duty, cleaning up all these games, remastered. I was so happy to get that one right here, the remaster done, because this is the original one, and I remember when it first came out, This was one of the games on the PS3 that I probably played the most. I probably on the PS3. I don't think I played any game more than this one, because of the online aspect. And then when they remastered it, I was just elated. I was like, wow, really glad to be back on this game. And I even played a lot of online around this time. I remember just I got the platinum for it, sure, but I just played a lot. Ghost, Call of Duty Ghost. This is where I met some really good friends of mine to this day. I don't know if you're still watching, Donna. I know you were here earlier. But Call of Duty Ghost is where I met Donna. I was in my Call of Duty cleanup phase here. This is like, at this point, my wife is pregnant. And I'm just like, you know, she got pregnant around July, like around this time. So my daughter was on the way here. So I remember this time frame because I was just like trying to clean up some games. I'm like, my God, I'm about to have a kid. And I went back to this series here and tried to wrap all this up. But yeah, my daughter was born shortly after. But, you know, Ghost is where I met some good friends here. So Donna, Nicole, and Reedy. So yeah, I met you guys on this game around this time while I was in my craze of cleaning up games I started. This is one of the ones I got at launch for the PS4. So this was like years of added, you know, that was sitting there for 3 years with DLC added and everything. So yes, would have never done it without you guys. Oh, you're still there. Yep. Awesome. Yes, Ghost. Yeah. Telltale series from Batman. Pretty fun games. I was doing it for the, you know, easy platinum reason, but I ended up enjoying these. I didn't fall asleep like I did with Tales of the Borderlands. So Black Ops, oh my God, another zombies. I hate talking about Black Ops because I have a lot of bad memories of those games and things that happened that I don't even want to talk about on here. So, but Black Ops, you know, is one that just a lot of effort, a lot of shit. Just I don't even want to think about them anymore. Black Ops, and I said I will never put another Call of Duty game with zombies on my trophy list again, and I've stuck to that, and I will continue to stick to that because fuck zombies. Beyond Two Souls, this is one game that the trophy list ruins for me because I actually liked it. But the trophy list was just, oh my God, I had to go back and redo over and over and over again just to get specific scenes. I was like, oh my God, like, I forgot who the developer is for this game, but they did Heavy Rain and Detroit, if I'm not mistaken. And they all have that same problem with just like too many endings and all this other stuff. Batman again, Telltale series. You know why I did it. So this is my 100th platinum right here. Resident Evil. I made sure that I made this my 100th platinum because this is a game that's so near and dear to my heart. I played it on the GameCube originally, and it was on the GameCube only for a long time. Then they finally remastered them for the PS4. It's actually, looking at it, it's on the PS3 as well, but PS4. And with trophies, I was mind blown. I was like, this is such a special game. I saved it for my 100th platinum. And that's where I kind of started with my milestones. Because before then, I didn't really care that much. I think I did do milestones. I'm lying. I think I did a milestone for 50. And maybe 75. I don't know. I got to look back. We're almost at my milestones. But yes, I went crazy with Resident Evil. I was so happy when they came out. Warhawk. We'll never get it done, even if the servers are still open. This game's like thousands of hours of gameplay. It's ridiculous. Boosting it, not boosting it. This game, there's no words. I wish I could delete this one because it was just a terrible mistake to put it on my list. But yes, Warhawk. Yeah, Warhawk can go to hell, really. So. April 22nd, Horizon Zero Dawn. Completed that. I had already gotten the platinum, actually, now that I look back at it. Oh my God, yeah, there's a huge gap here. June 2017, May 2017. I forgot. I would be remiss to mention this. I quit trophy hunting around this time entirely. I was done. After my 100th platinum, I walked away. I walked away around this time. I was playing a lot of Grand Theft Auto, Grand Theft Auto 5, on the PS4. This is where I spent 3,000 hours of my life. I quit trophy hunting completely. Um, I think, yeah, I went back. I completed Horizon Zero Dawn. Looking back, and I think I got the platinum somewhere in there in that year, and then I went back for the 100%. But man, I was just all in Grand Theft Auto. It was kind of the best break I ever had trophy hunting. I just went almost a full year. Look at that, before I got any other platinums there. I think trying to go for Warhog kind of just did me in. I was just done. I was like, fuck this. Why am I doing this to myself? Just this was like now 3 years after my 2014 effort. So I've slowed down a lot at this point. Grand Theft Auto 4, same trophy list as the PS3 version, except it has my rarest trophies ever. And Donna, you did these with me too. You and LeBrian, and I think it was Nicole. We did the Criminal Mastermind trophy here. Wait, no, I'm highlighting the wrong ring. 0.19. 0.19 rarity for this game. Holy mother of God. This game was just... that. As many hours as we put into it, you needed a good crew to do this. And it took me a while to find the will to actually complete it. I knew the trophies were out, and I had to quit trophy hunting. I was like, I'm just done with it. I didn't care at that point about trophies anymore. So, but yeah, we did. Funny enough, completing Grand Theft Auto 4's DLC trophies gave me the trophy hunting bug again, because I was gone for almost a year and a half. Like, I just really didn't touch it like that. Like, look at this gap. I'm not gonna go too far back, don't worry. But like 2015, like at 2016, I mean, I really started playing like Grand Theft Auto 4 online heavy. So this is all the games I just did. That's 2015 to 18, pretty much. I didn't really get as many trophies. This is what took up all my time. 3,000 hours on this game. Crazy. And we completed Criminal Mastermind. To this day, I get some people messaging me like, "Hey, can you help me with this trophy?" I'm like, I'm never doing that shit again. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm good. I don't want to spend too much time explaining what Criminal Mastermind is, but for those that know, you know how hard that trophy is. God of War. God of War 2018. Man, was I happy. This is a game that really helped me ease my way back into trophy hunting, and I really started getting back into it. God of War was just a special game, and obviously it deserves all the praise it gets. It was much better story than all the other God of Wars. The other ones are very fun to just rip people apart, and it was very brutal. But this game's story was so deep, and if you've never played it, please do yourself the favor and play this game. I don't know anyone who's ever not liked it, so, and that goes a long way. Rocket League. This game I completed this a bunch of times, so this is where I finally got the last trophy for it. But this game was a nuisance. That's all I'll say. Every few months, Rocket League would add a trophy, and it was just like, holy crap, man! I fucking hate this game. Like, I think I got it back in 2015, the platinum, and yeah, 2 years, 9 months. Look at this. For almost 3 years, there's been nonstop updates and little stuff that they added. 88 trophies. It'll be like 3 trophies, 4 trophies, 5, just dumbass updates. I hated that, but yeah, that's the last time I touched that. Uncharted Lost Legacy. Expansion to Uncharted 4, which I didn't talk about yet because at this point, I have the platinum for Uncharted 4, but I didn't have the completion yet for it. But anyways, Lost Legacy, amazing game. You get to play as Chloe Fraser. Great character. Love this one. Like I said, I'm easing my way back into trophy hunting here. As you can see, November 18. Okay, things are heating up again. Need for Speed Payback. I think you, I think Donna, you recommended this game to me, and I hated you for it. I'm kidding. I did not like this game though. This was very frustrating. It almost made me go right back to not wanting to trophy hunt. But yes, I was still playing at a much lower pace. Now, for one of my most proudest platinums, not one of the hardest, but one of my proudest platinums and one of my favorite games of all time, Red Dead Redemption 2. I had never played Red Dead 1 before, so Red Dead Redemption 2 introduced me to the series. And I gotta say, I was very surprised to love it as much as I did, and I thought that I wasn't going to I thought I wasn't gonna like it because I always knew Red Dead was like Grand Theft Auto, but you're an outlaw in the back in the 1800s, and I'm like, man, that doesn't sound like something I would enjoy. But damn it, did I love this game? And how wrong was I? 3 months, 2 weeks to platinum it. Yes, I did so much of the online at first just because I wanted to get that done, and then I started playing the story, and man, that story. Oh shit! I clicked it. Now I gotta scroll back. Damn it! This is why I haven't been clicking into games. What the fuck did I do? There it is. Okay. Best game of that generation, I would say. PS4. Don't at me. WWE 2K18. Alright, so I'm getting back into getting my WWE games again. So 18. I think the WWE League started at this point. Yeah, WWE League started already. Yeah, so this is also another reason why I'm just slowed down a lot in trophy hunting. WWE League started and everything, so I finally platinum 2K18 a year and 5 months later. So this is actually the year and 5 months after the league launch. I finally got the platinum for 2K18. I did not like this game. The online sucked. I'm sorry, not the online. The campaign sucked. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. GTA is the one that brings you back. Yes, it is. 2 times it brought me back because it's just such. Yeah, dude. I know I said it to myself too. It's not even intentional. It just did it for me because I love the game so much, and it's just an accomplishment when you get those done. Red Dead 2 kind of did here in a way. Red Dead really, like, GTA brought me back, but Red Dead kind of like a little bit like half a year later. Let me see. Yeah, no, almost a whole year. March really brought me back even more. Like, I'm just like, dude, I love Red Dead Redemption. I started trophy hunting a lot more again than Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I completed that. It's just like Telltale. Mortal Kombat 11, really fun game. A lot better than 10, and Platinum wasn't as hard. It's just a little grindy there. Spider-Man. Oh my god, this game. I love this game too. I was just playing some look at these goated games I played in a matter of like a year. I was just like, I'm gonna play games I love. At this point, what I said to myself was, I'm done playing games. I don't want to play anymore. I'm gonna play games I want to play, and I've stuck to that for the most part. From here on out, I was like, if I'm gonna trophy hunt again, I'm not going back to play old shit. I had already done most of that by this point because I went hard for years. You guys can see it. I went hard for years cleaning up games I didn't want to. So, but Marvel Spider-Man, I'm playing all these goated games at this time. Like, this game was so good. Love the open world. I cannot wait for part 2 in October. I'm gonna be replaying on stream this game for the PS5 version. Not platinum. I'm just gonna play the game. Just the campaign right before part 2 comes out. Probably gonna take me a week. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. So I was gonna announce that, but yeah, I will be playing Marvel Spider-Man again on the PS5 version. Uncharted 4, 3 years and 1 week to complete. What a pain what a pain in the ass was this 100% right here. The only reason I got it is because I joined this group of on back when we had communities on PS4, and there was this group that would help carry people. But man, the 100% for this game sucked. It was one of the hardest for people. Not as hard as the PS3 ones, I would say, still, but it was still up there. Um, so it's still up there, for being difficult, but not as bad as the PS3 ones. But still, it was very difficult, and I had some help from some really good people in order to get through it. At this point in time, I just something sparked in my brain, and I don't know what it was, and I said, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna clean up as much of these games as I could that I know I could never finish. If you notice here, this is all except for Warhawk. Everything's 100% for the most part for like years. We're talking about, you know. So let me see, 2015. If we just ignore that one Warhawk there, 2017. Yeah, we're talking about 4 years. Pretty much every game I put on my list completed. I said, you know what? I'm going to go back and I'm going to clean up all these games here. You see these? All these are closed servers except for Injustice. Injustice is the only one I can still complete to this day, which is the second game that out of my incomplete games that I would actually be willing to go back and put the effort in at some point. It's very difficult. I don't know if I'll have a skill, but I've never tried. Look at this game. Fight Night Champion, 0.01%. I just cleaned up as much of these as I could. These are all sports games and stuff that are on my profile. That's why like the beginning on my list is so small those years, because I had all these games at one point at the bottom. But I bumped all them up to clean these up and just knowingly know like these are all going to be incomplete on my list. Once I'm done with this phase, every game that I touch, every game that ever goes on my profile at the top of my list, I'm going to complete 100%. That's what I said to myself. And this was in 2019. And you guys will see if I accomplished that or not. But I went back and I cleaned all these up. That's why I'm hesitant to bump Injustice up to the top of my list. But yes, this was a very boring time. This was like a good couple weeks here of me just playing these old games and just getting as many trophies as I could without it being too much of a burden on me. Where I was like, okay, I could boost these with 2 controllers. Okay, I'll do that. So I did, and it brought up my completion percentage into the 90s around this time. That's why I cracked the 90s, I think. Resogun. This is also a game that I was cleaning up. Completed 5 years, 7 months. Okay, went back, did this bad boy right here. This is a very hard 100%, 0.37%. That's why it took me. This is one of the first games I played on PS4. And I went back and did the platinum, which I had the platinum for a long time, but the 100% was hard. Went back and did that along with this journey here. I made that a part of my journey. At first, I wasn't planning on finishing it. This was just going to be in the list here with these games. Like, I'm never going back to it, but I started really getting some of the hard trophies. I was like, oh, shit, I can actually do this. You know? Guitar Hero 5. 9 years and 9 months to complete it. I want to say I think this is the longest gap on my list for first trophy to last, the platinum. Guitar Hero 5, 9 years, 9 months. We're talking about the very beginning on my list. This was on there before. It sat there for ages. 0.9% out of the Guitar Hero games is on the easier side in comparison to Metallica, but don't get it twisted. This is a tough platinum right here. 0.9%. So I went back, and this is around the time where like the easy games started coming out, and I'm like, what the hell? You can get a platinum in this short amount of time? So I already knew by this point. So I knew that once I did this, I was like, I'm going to try some of these really easy platinums that are like 15, 20 minutes. Like, what the hell? But I feel like I deserved it. I did some really good shit, you know? Especially with this game that I'm going to talk about next. Gran Turismo 5. 8 years, 7 months. Huge gap in completion. This is one of the hardest platinums I have on here. 0.55%. I think when the first guide ever put out for, I think said it was 600 hours. I don't know, but this took me a long time chipping away at it, doing different things. Finally got to the platinum right here, and I couldn't be happier that day. I almost cried. Always been a big Gran Turismo fan, and when that platinum popped, man, that was just something else. 2K19, WWE again. Spent a lot of time on 2K19, as you guys know that are anyone who's in the league. We spent a lot of time on that, and then around this time frame, I think I took a break. I did the two Tomb Raider games, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition and Rise of the Tomb Raider. First time I had ever put these Tomb Raider games, I ever really played them. I played a little bit on the PS1, but I was never a fan of Tomb Raider. Played a little bit of the PS1, but these games were the ones that really, I loved them. The reboot, I thought it was great. I enjoyed these two. Then I moved. This is August 2019, and I had a long gap. That was my last platinum of 2019 in August. I moved to a new apartment, and it was kind of sudden, and it was kind of like a difficult time in my life. I didn't go homeless or anything like that. It might look like it. It didn't take me 4 months to move. I just was really going through a lot of, let's just say, emotional things because of what just transpired. But yes, I was just done with for a while with like trophy hunting. I needed that good break, and this is what you guys are gonna see. I've always done this: take time off when I feel it. When I feel like I really can't do it, I just take time off. I haven't really done it in a long time though. Now, as you guys will see, like I haven't taken like as much time off like I did then in years now. So maybe I'm due for it, right? Then I did Shadow of the Tomb Raider when I came back. Finished the trilogy right here. And it wasn't as good as the first two, but it's still a good game. 2K20, I absolutely hate this game. WWE 2K20 was one of the worst wrestling games ever made. And 2K should be ashamed of themselves for the rest of their life. So I'm coming back with a vengeance here. 2K 2020, this is right before COVID. And you guys are about to see me have one of the most crazy years of my life for gaming right here. After that break, it's like my battery recharged, and then I got furloughed from work. So you guys, I'm about to give you the fast version of this. But Batman, this is a sequel, I think. Yeah, sequel to the Telltale one. My Name is Mayo. I did those. And the reason I did these easy ones here was I wanted to make Resident Evil 2 my 125th platinum. So I was a bit short, and I didn't want to play long games. I really wanted to play Resident Evil 2. So I used those, and you guys will see I'm using these for milestones now. So this is my 125th, which is crazy because it took me from 2017, I got my 100th platinum. It took me 3 years to get to my 125th platinum. 3 years. That's a lot. That's a lot of time. I never really thought about it like that, but from 100 to 125, 3 years. And now I'm not as much as 2014, but I'm getting about 20 platinums a year at least. Because I've been pretty steady. I don't go as hard, but I'm more consistent. All right, so Resident Evil 2. What could we say? What could I say about this game that hasn't been said? It's a masterpiece. Probably the best Resident Evil game ever made. Was very happy to play the remake. I was saving it for such a long time for this milestone, and I was so happy to get there. That's why I couldn't wait anymore. I was like, my name is Mayo. Fuck, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna get my 125th platinum now. Resident Evil 7, great game. Saved the Resident Evil series, like a lot of people say. So I'm on a Resident Evil streak here. I'm trying to complete every one of the series right here at this point. So I did 7, 1.3%. Very difficult. One very difficult trophy in there is Ethan Must Die, which is like if you die once, kind of luck based kind of game. That's probably the toughest thing, but it's not a super hard platinum. Zero is probably one of the tougher Resident Evil campaigns, but it's not anywhere near as hard of a platinum or 100% as 7. So, but still tough. These games are kind of tough here. Code Veronica. This is so dated. This is the game I hope they remake next. Very tank controls, very uh, old school game here. So this is all 2020. So I'm going nuts here. January, February. Yeah, I'm going nuts here in 2020 already. So around this time, I was furloughed from work, which means you're basically put on hold. Like, you don't know when you're going back to work. You still technically have a job. And I'm thinking this is going to last, a month or two. This is COVID. Nobody really knew what to expect. It's all bullshit. It's going to go away quick. We all know how that played out, right? Transistor. Fueyo, I don't know if you're still watching, but I know you were here earlier. But this is a game you recommended to me, and I decided to give it a shot. And at first, I'm like, what the hell did I get myself into? But I actually ended up enjoying it. Pretty good RPG game. And if you notice on my list up until now, I really didn't have many RPGs. Like, Horizon is an RPG, yes. Um, and there's other games with elements of RPG, but this was like a real RPG right here. Um, I was like, oh, I enjoyed that. So you guys are gonna see a big change in that aspect here. Red Dead Redemption went back. I never thought I would go back to play this game. But I'm like, damn, I have nothing to do. Like, I'm just at home. My daughter was, 3 at the time. My son was on the way in 2020, by the way. So I'm like, man, I have a lot of time. I'm not working, but I might as well go back and do this game. And we did the online. I did the online, and I had some help from people in the community. There's one, because the servers are pretty much dead, but they're still open. So I went back and did this game 100%. Loved it. Loved the story. Didn't love the grind online and all that stuff, but the story and stuff made it up for me because I love Red Dead 2. Remember, Red Dead 2 was my first one. So I went back and did Red Dead 1, which is funny because it still works. You can play these games. They're interchangeable, in my opinion, in how you play them. Because Red Dead 2 is a prequel to 1. So technically I played them in the right order in the story, but there's some things in Red Dead 2 that would be a spoiler. Because if you had played Red Dead 1, you would understand some things from Red Dead 2 is what I should say. You would know certain things would happen by then. But I love the experience. These two easy games here, did them in this first one 35 minutes. I did the next one in 33 minutes. Like, just bullshit platinum there. Walking Dead, two of them back to back, but they're different games. A New Frontier, the final season. This is actually a more, I don't want to say difficult, but it's different than the other Walking Dead games. You actually you don't just beat the game. You play, you have to get some collectibles and some other stuff. But yes, the final season. Full Blast. These are all easy. Deep Space, Full Blast. These are all easy games. Like I said, I was starting to get a taste for these, so I started doing more of these. Trying to make up some time for all the platinums I didn't get for all those years. At the time, I didn't really care. I was like, I don't know, doing whatever I want, pretty much. But looking back, I wish I hadn't done some of these. Like, I maybe would have just not done the stack, maybe just done the one game instead. But whatever. Like I said, I can't change the past. This is all 2020, A Way Out, great co-op game. Played this with Barry. We played through that together. And I think he got one of his first platinum, not his first, but one of his first platinums playing this game with me in May 2020 right here. The Last of Us Remastered. Went back and replayed this game on the PS4. Loved it. I enjoyed the shit out of this. And I played it right before Last of Us 2. Last of Us 2 got DLC later, but I had them back to back, Last of Us 1 and 2. So, did that. Ratchet and Clank. This one gave me a taste for Ratchet and Clank series, for real. So, did that. It was fun, but not as good as Rift Apart, I'll tell you that much. Modern Warfare, the reboot. Great game, and as you guys know, Warzone came out, but I never got into that, thank God, because I would have definitely been sucked into that for years. Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered. I was happy it didn't have the Spec Ops or the multiplayer aspect to it, but I was happy to redo the campaign and whatnot. Detroit, Just like Beyond Two Souls, I absolutely hated having to replay the game so many times. I remember just being so bored. My son was born around this time frame here, and I I was like, man, I got some extra time to play games, but I also have a new kid, so I would be up a lot at night with him because babies wake up middle of the night. So I wasn't sleeping much around this time. 2020, I was off from work, but I was up early every day playing games and stuff. And all the stress and stuff I was going through because I didn't know when I was going to work again. First time I hadn't worked, even in 2014 when I was getting all those platinums, I was still working, you know. First time I hadn't worked 6 months at a time, you know. Resident Evil 3, my 150th platinum right here. So I earned my 125 and 150th in the same year. Granted, I had at least, this is the year I got the most, what I call BS platinums. 22 minutes. I got at least a good 15 of those to fill in. Look at that. Resident Evil 2. There's just a lot. This was my 150th platinum right here. Last of Us Part 2. What can be said about this game? Just an absolute masterpiece. No multiplayer, just all campaign. It's not nearly as difficult as the first one as far as getting the platinum, but what an experience that game is. You just have to play. I can't say any much about it without spoiling things, but you have to play Last of Us Part 2 if you play Part 1. Titanfall. Oh my god. This game was a shorter platinum, but man, was there one trophy that was a bitch in there. It's one with the time trial, and I forgot the name of it, but that was horrible. Horrible. I will never want to do that game again because of that one trophy. Even the multiplayer trophies are easy, but that trophy can go to hell. Control. A great game that I don't understand, not even a little bit. The story makes no sense to me. I've tried reading things, it just doesn't make sense to me. Something about it just doesn't click with my mind. But fun game though. Fun enough that I did it again. You guys will see in a bit. Fun enough game, but I just kind of skipped the cutscenes the second time. Like, I don't care to understand it. So August 2020, then something happened that I did not expect. Oh, you know which one I'm talking about. I think Master, right? Master? I think it's called Master something. Class. Master of his class? I don't know. Something terrible happened to me in September of 2020. I was introduced to a game called Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout by some of my friends. And I knew that this game was absolute pain in the ass to platinum. And one of the, at this time, infamously hard trophies called Infallible. And I knew I never wanted this game on my trophy list. I was like, shit, man. The game was fun, but I'm like, I would never play this on my main account. So what is it doing here? Well, my lovely wife one morning, we're all home in 2020. Everyone's just cooped up in the house. My daughter was starting to learn how to play some games and stuff a little bit. She wanted to play Crash Bandicoot, but she still plays a lot to this day on my account. But my main profile, this one here that we're reviewing, is password locked at all times. Even within my own house, like, you need to have my code in order to get in. Not just, so my wife, somehow, some way, I guess I shouldn't question her. She logged into my profile. And I think I told her one time what it was beforehand, thinking that she would never go into it. Why would she? She didn't know that my daughter played on my other account. And when she went in there, she told my daughter, said, "No, I want to try that game, Fall Guys." She went on that game and played a race without even knowing how to play and got a trophy on there. And I was sleeping at this time. I would take the night shift with my son when he would fall asleep. Like, when he would sleep, I would stay up late with him or wake up really early, but then I'll go to sleep for a bit till like noon, like 10 o'clock, and then I'll wake up. When I woke up, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, why is there a trophy on this game? I went absolutely crazy. I went absolutely crazy. I'm like, why is there a trophy? who the hell got on my account and played this game and got a trophy? I was so mad. Like there's no, I think that I've been mad at trophy hunting before, but this, I was like, I did not want this game. I was trying to get away from playing games for trophies that I didn't want to play. This game right here, I was so mad at my wife. I'm not gonna lie. And luckily it was 2020. I was at home. I did nothing but play this game for the most part every day and night, and until I got this platinum. 1 week and 4 days. 1 week and 4 days. I went absolutely. I already knew how to play it, and thankfully that helped me get it in time because I was already playing it on my other account. No, man, I was so mad. There's no words to describe what Fall Guys almost did to me. I was so mad that she did that to me. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So this is the game I was actually playing around this time. And I dropped it entirely to play Fall Guys. Completely dropped Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, but I love this game. I was a Dragon Ball Z fan when I was a teenager. One of the only animes I've ever really liked. I know somebody I know out there, Fueyo, thinks it's corny to like Dragon Ball Z, but I like Dragon Ball Z growing up. I thought it was fun. This game here like recaps the whole story again, so I was watching stuff that I really enjoyed, rewatching stuff essentially in better graphics, really, and then playing through it. So just a great RPG right here, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Then I was cleaning up Ratchet and Clank. This is 2020 November. I did 4 games back to back. All the OG ones remastered from the PS2 era. Yep, 1, 2, 3, Deadlocked. Did all those. And the PS5 came out. Miles Morales, Marvel Spider-Man remaster. I auto-popped this one right here, which I regret, admittedly. Like if I hadn't auto-popped it then, I would probably be replaying it this year, and I would enjoy that much more than just playing it as that was the idea. I was always wanted to replay it, but I don't know. I was like, oh, auto pop, I'll do it. Fuck it. I did it, but I regretted it after. I was like, this is a game I would enjoy playing through again, like from beginning to end, all the trophies. There's nothing hard about it. It's all fun, but hey. It is what it is. Miles Morales, also very fun platinum. I kind of skipped right over it because I saw this game. But Miles Morales is short platinum, but very fun nonetheless. And then to wrap up my 2020 platinums, Astro's Playroom. One of the, obviously comes with the PS5. Such a fun little game. Only a couple hours to play. I was back at work at this point, by the way. I started working back in like a little after the Fall Guys debacle, actually. Thank God. I remember doing Ghost of Tsushima. That was actually my last platinum for 2020, but it got DLC, so it's bumped up in there. Shadow of the Colossus. Such a frustrating game. That's all I'll say. I hated the climbing mechanics and the stupid horse, aggro. For those that know who aggro is. Aggro. I played this game. I did not like this game as much as some people do, and I probably, because Barry was playing it, he told me, hey, play this game with me. And I was like, oh, it looks fun. I've heard for years it's such a great game. I hated it, and I hated the trophy list. And I'm sorry for those that do like the game, but it's not for me. Diablo 3. Play that because of Fueyo. Yes. We played this game together. Because I was going for the trophies for this game, did not enjoy it. If I would have been playing it for fun, I would have enjoyed it. I was just, trophies end up ruining games for people, and this is one of those games, But I've got Diablo 4, so I didn't hate it that much, did I? Then I redid the Final Fantasy 7. Before putting it on my profile, I had played it on my alternate account, but I finally decided to go for the platinum of the OG PS1 reboot, remaster. Oh my god. Why is that? Because I wanted to play Final Fantasy VII Remake right afterwards, and boy, do I love this game. and I will be replaying it, the PS5 version, before Part Two comes out, or Rebirth comes out next year. Love this game, highly recommended. One of my favorites of the past 10 years, I would say. As far as any, like, I'm talking about the remake here. 7 is just iconic, but I'm talking about this is a new game altogether compared to the original. So saying the games released in the past 10 years, one of the best, probably in my top 5. Really looking forward to Rebirth. Tekken 7. So this took me a month and a week, so I really took my time with that. It's not even, it's like estimated at 60 hours. I really took my sweet time with this game. And Tekken 7, I did, look at these games. I did these, like, it was just one weekend. I went crazy. Tekken 7, Life is Strange, Life is Strange Before the Storm, Life is Strange 2. So about Life is Strange, I didn't like those games as much as I thought I would. They weren't horrible, but there was it was a little too dark in some parts. I'm like, and I played dark games, but like, I don't know, there's some stuff that was a little too close to not my real life, but just, I don't know, very depressing. So I guess that's why I didn't like the games like that. You know, there's been more depressing games, but something about it, for me personally, I was just like, man, this is sad. Like, I'm just, I don't know if anyone else feels like that. Let me know if you guys agree with me, but I couldn't do any more of that. I did do it again up here, as you can see, but that was just for trophy hunting purposes. I did the Mortal Kombat 11 Platinum. You get a lot of the trophies. I didn't auto pop it because you still have to work for it, but you get a lot of the trophies pretty much for nothing. You auto pop a few of them, but the biggest thing I had to do here was play a lot of online matches. So I did that. Need for Speed Heat wasn't as bad as Payback, but still didn't love it. Heat was much better. Life is Strange, again, I won't talk about it. Umbrella Corp is an online-only Resident Evil game, and it was all boosting. There was absolutely nothing fun about it. I did it for the sole reason of wanting to platinum every Resident Evil game ever made, or ever with trophies. And I accomplished that right afterwards. Resident Evil Resistance, when I did that one, it's a much better experience overall. But I boosted the crap out of this game. That's how I did it in 2 days and 8 hours. This was online as well, only. Both of these online games, these are the only ones at that point that I needed with trophies. And I went, and at this time, I had every one of them. Then I went on a Ratchet and Clank spree again. These are all, healthy length games, but yeah. Did those on the PS3. Conan Exiles was a game I did because you can use the admin panel and get all the trophies in like 10 minutes. And then they released DLC. After the game was out years, they released some DLC for it, which now became one of the rarest completions on my list because nobody wants to pay for that crap. It was like $25, and I went back to do it. And, I don't know. I should have never even like put that game on my list, to be honest with you. But I did complete it. Because remember my oath. I swore an oath. Any game that goes at the top of my list, I'm going to complete it. If I can, obviously. But It Takes Two, baby. Such a great game. It's one of the ones in the community pool in RSTR for a reason. Because it's such a fun game. Especially if you're playing with friends. Or if you're playing with your girlfriend or boyfriend. Very, very fun game. I didn't play it with my wife. I played it with Barry, but we had a lot of fun with it. And we joked around like, look, we're about to give each other a kiss in the game. Just funny. But yeah. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. What a freaking game. I love this game. And to this day, my daughter plays it a lot. So it's probably my most played PS5 game because of her at this point. Just she's on it all the time. She loves it. And I loved the game when I played it when it first launched. I got the platinum within the first 2 weeks. First week. Because I started playing it right away. That's why I was doing all these Ratchet and Clank games. I was trying to complete the series, and I did. That's one of the series that have all the games done. Which you guys remember that Ratchet and Clank All for One was the first time I played Ratchet and Clank. So playing them on all those PS2 remasters was my first experience with it, with those games. So yeah, this game I completed the series with it, so I was proud of it. They redid Control. Then I went on a little spree here of 100% games to complete certain series because I was on that mode now. I was like, I did all the Resident Evils, I did all the Metal Gears. I want to do all the Ratchet and Clanks, and I needed this game for the 2K games, 2K Battlegrounds. So I did that. Dead Space Ignition was the only Dead Space I didn't have done, so I did that. Walking Dead Michonne was the only one I hadn't done, so I did that. Red Dead Revolver was the only game out of the Red Dead series I hadn't done, so I went back and did it. And these 3 games here, don't laugh at me, but this was just a dare from a friend of mine. It said, I dare you to put these games on your list. They're not like erotic or anything like that, but like they're stupid. I just decided to do it. This was right before I moved to where I live now, so I just said, all right, fuck it, I'll do the games. You know, I did Evil Inside, which is another easy platinum. You going to bed?
Daddy.
Come here. Say hi. Look there.
Hi. Hi.
You're live. You're alive.
What's that?
That's a camera.
A camera?
Yeah. You barged in here without warning.
She's a camera.
Yeah.
Camera.
So this is around the time I moved. So I did Wreckfest. First time I played it at this time. Such a fun game.
The game and the racing game.
It is a racing game. Yeah, you know this game. You play it.
It's a microphone and then bam.
Yeah.
Can you sing it?
Intermission. Out of the blue. All right, go. Mommy's gonna put you to bed. Go say goodnight. I'm doing a stream, but it's not a WWE stream. All right. So yeah, I did these games here was like right around the time where I moved to Florida. So I had a lot of fun with the Plague Tales Innocence first time. Fun game, and I ended up really liking the story behind it. Maquette is a puzzle game which I did not like. I'll just put that out there. Probably because I looked for the solutions for the puzzles instead of just playing it. That's why I didn't like it, in all fairness. Sleeping Dogs. I got my GTA fix from this game. I would say out of all the GTA, I don't want to call them knockoffs, but like GTA inspired games, this is probably the best one that I've ever personally played. And a lot of people, from what I've seen, agree that Sleeping Dogs is great. And I think this is the first time we ever did like challenges to each other. Like we started challenge. I think I asked for a few people to challenge me to a few games. That's why I did some of the ones over here, like the Shadow of the Colossus, Diablo. So this is I think Donna challenged me to Sleeping Dogs, if I remember. I think it was you. I could look back. I have it all documented. Any challenges. Persona 4. This is Meso and Fuego. You guys challenged me to play this, and I love that game. I thought it was amazing. Much better than Persona 5, for me, at least, in terms of story. Even though Persona 5 story is great, but I love 4 is better. I don't know. Maybe I have a soft spot for it, Persona 4. Then I did the Ghost of Tsushima DLC. Now I'm actually moved into my new home here. And this thing slowed down a lot between this time where I was moving and all that good stuff. I was playing a lot on my Vita before Persona 4 Golden. But this is where I'm finally settled into my new home here. I did Ghost of Tsushima DLC. Hellblade, fun game. Little bit too much with the headphones, so I had to like not use my headphones for it because I was getting like, I felt like I was getting like schizophrenia with that shit on my head. So I was like, nah. I did Infamous, the First Light and Second Son. I loved First Light. For some reason, I didn't expect to like it as much. Second Son, it was okay. I've always wanted to go back and play the old Infamous games, but I realize I just don't care enough about them anymore. Those games are so dated. I hope that one day we'll get a remake of them, and then I'll play them. I'm not going to go back and play them. I used to say, oh, I want to do Infamous. I feel like I had to because it's one of the exclusives. I at least got these, you know. I've been trying to get at least one platinum from each PlayStation exclusive. So, you know, there's a few I don't have yet, but, you know, at least one platinum from each series. There's some easy games here. I wanted to really dial these in and I did these because I had a certain number of trophies that I needed because I wanted to get Death Stranding to be my 10,000th, the platinum for Death Stranding to be my 10,000th trophy, and I achieved it. Death Stranding, mixed game for some people. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I personally loved it. It's a Hideo Kojima game, the creator of Metal Gear Solid. A lot of influence from Metal Gear in it. Not Metal Gear at all in a lot of ways, but in most ways, I should say. But there's some influence from there as far as storytelling that I really loved about Death Stranding. So, made that my 10,000th platinum. I mean, sorry. 10,000 platinum. Whoa. First, let me crack 1,000. 10,000 trophy with a platinum. So, yes. Little Nightmares 2. First time I ever touched this game here, this series. And I thought it was good. I thought it was really, really good. I enjoyed that. Enough to play part 1 again. Because 2 was an easier trophy list. And it's a prequel. So I played 2 first. You know. Life is Strange, True Colors. I think it was a little better than the other Life is Strange in some ways, but still, something about the series is just not for me. Finally, I have a Soulsborne game on my list. Souls-like. Demon Souls. Man. First experience with these. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Once you understand the mechanics and if you use certain magic, the magic build, it wasn't as hard to get the platinum. But one of the most visually stunning games I played, especially it was a launch PS5 game, so I played it 2 years later, but a year and a half later, I should say. But this is one of the games I bought at launch with my PS5, and I never played it until it was time. Until I felt like it was time, and yep. It Takes Two, I redid it again, PS4, with Barry again. We decided to go back. Deadly Tower of Monsters, the fun little corny game, but, a lot of people don't, probably never even heard of it, but it was funny. I don't know, it was like a shorter platinum, but it was still like a good 10, 12 hours, something like that, And the Persona 4, Dancing All Night. So it was a rhythm game. First rhythm game in a long time, as you'll see. Fun game. Continue with, with the same characters of Persona 4, obviously. Medieval. This is when we were doing the challenges, I guess. Yeah, this is when we started doing the challenges for the community. Medieval was not a great remake or remaster. I think out of all the remakes and remasters that's ever been made, this is one of the biggest letdowns. They barely did anything to it.
Jumps.
You saying goodnight? What are you doing?
I'm reading Goodnight Moon.
You're reading Goodnight Moon? WWE 2K22. This is when I finally reached, when they finally released another WWE game because they skipped 2K21, so this was good. Good game, good comeback for the series. Football Cup 2022. FIFA from Wish. Only did it because I felt like getting an easier platinum. Because 2K22 was a long one. 100 plus hours there. A super big grind. Returnal. My first experience with a roguelike. roguelite. You doing magic on me? Really enjoyed this game. Really just one of the best games on the PS5 for sure. I recommend it for anyone who likes a bit of a challenge and is not opposed to replaying the same like game for a while, because every time you play it is a different experience. So I feel like one day I got to go back and play it again, just because I really enjoyed it. And we'll see if there's a Returnal Part 2. We just don't know. Will it be the same character? We'll see. Gran Turismo 7. Gran Turismo 7. Finally back in the Gran Turismo world. 7, not as nearly as hard as 5, but it was just a fun experience. And I did this game in 2 weeks and 3 days, which is crazy, because a lot of people had to wait like a month or 2 months before getting the right cars. I just happened to be in the sweet spot for these specific cars that you need that are random, where I was able to get the hard trophies first, and I've saved enough money to buy the cars, and they just happened to come up at the right time. So I got the platinum in a short period of time there. These here are my 100% games. I decided to do those back to back. If you guys notice, I like to stack the same type of games, PS5, PS4 games, right next to each other. I don't like going like back and forth a lot, if you know what I mean, like the small little rectangles versus the big ones with the PS5. I like to kind of stack them together, a couple games at least. Super OCD of me, but what am I gonna do, right? That's just who I am. Kingdom Hearts. Oh yeah, wait, sorry, I jumped ahead. Fruit Ninja, not much to say. Just did it for the arcade genre on there. Little Nightmares. This game should have had a platinum. I'll leave it at that. Arkham VR, my only VR completion here so far. I don't like VR. It makes me nauseous, but this game was pretty good. You know, it's a pretty good little short game, 6 hours. I did it all in one day because I was not plugging that VR back in, and I don't like leaving it out. So I did it all in one day. Took a little hour break, but yeah, I got it done. Kingdom Hearts, my first time playing Kingdom Hearts ever, right here. And man, this game, this story, really got me intrigued to play the other games. Just the trophy list is so difficult and such a grind. I don't know if I'll ever will myself to do part 2. But no, I did think about doing it this year, because we're in 2022 right now, so we're almost done here, actually. I might go back one day and do Kingdom Hearts 1. It's one of those that I feel like part 2 at least, and then 3 eventually. But there's so many of those games in the series that I can never commit myself to doing all of them. I just don't have the time anymore. South Park Stick of Truth. What a freaking game this is. This is such an underrated RPG and doesn't get enough notoriety, and it's hilarious. So, not for anyone who's sensitive about certain things, but this game is... I would tell you guys this much. No game has ever made me laugh more than this one. This game had me in tears of laughter. So, recommend it for anyone who's an adult that has a sense of humor that's not easily offended. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. This game is just, Smash Brothers Nickelodeon style, but doesn't do it anywhere near as good. But, it'll get you through a couple hours of gameplay, and you're like, I'm done. So I did that game. Prince of Persia for Forgotten Sands. The only reason I did this game was because I needed a PSP game for this challenge year. So I decided to do this game. It was either that or Tekken 6. So I went and did this game here. And it's okay. Not very memorable. But it wasn't a horrible experience either. So Arkham Asylum. I had played this just through the campaign. I hadn't played it on my main profile yet. But man, this game, was tough. It was tough. Those Arkham games are tough. and I hated the combat challenges with a passion until I didn't know how to really play the game until I went to the combat. I had beat the game, but I didn't really understand how the combat challenges, how difficult they were until I played them. Then you really learn to play the game. All right, Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales, redid this game, PS4. Obviously, you can't auto pop backwards for this game, so I had to redo it. But I went and redid it just because I had, it was uneven. I had Spider-Man twice, the first one, and I wanted Miles Morales twice, so I went and redid this one, and I enjoyed it. Short platinum, short on time, because I knew what was coming up next, and that was Persona 5 Royal. So I went to my second Persona game, not the rhythm game, I should say. Second real Persona game here. I went and did 5. Great experience. Even though I did say I prefer Persona 4 in terms of story, Persona 5 still has a great story and very enjoyable. Funny enough, I did the European version by mistake because I bought a disc version of it and didn't realize it was the European version. So that's the one European version game I have other than Sound Shapes. So, but same game anyways. Cat Quest. Went ahead and did Cat Quest. Shark Yaya, she recommended this game to me, and it was one of my challenge games, and I thought it was a pretty fun game actually, and more fun than I ever expected. So much better than the game I'm about to talk about next. Pantsu Hunter. I only did this game because I needed a visual novel or point and click. I forgot which one this is classified as. I was trying to wrap up all the challenges for 2022, and this is the only genre I needed. So I found the shortest one I could, and this was like 5 hours estimated. So I just went ahead and I said, you know what? I'll do it. Fuck it. I just used the guide, got through it as quickly as I could. But I hated every minute of that. That was so boring, and it's not an erotic game. I wasn't like, oh my god, no. It sucked. There was nothing about it that was remotely interesting. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. What a freaking game, and one that is really didn't get the notoriety it deserves. It's such a great game right here. Plays a lot like Final Fantasy 7 Remake in some ways. Really just great game. I really hope they make a sequel to this. I would love to play that. I have nothing bad to say about that game, other than I had to finish it. I wish I could have played it longer, but it wasn't a super long game, like 25 hours to platinum it or something like that, or 30. But I loved it. I followed that up with Fallen Order, Jedi Fallen Order. Love this game as well. These 2 games I was putting off for a while, and I wanted to save them for after I was done with all the challenges, which I was at this point. Just a great game. Challenging at times, but just that good balance of challenging and fun, not overbearing. Resident Evil Village. Obviously this was released after I had completed all the Resident Evil, so I had to go back and get this done. I mean, even though I had the platinum, they released some DLC. So, great game. The recent Resident Evil games have not disappointed, and this is such a good one too. So if you haven't played it, also recommend that one. Oh my god. The Nickelodeon All Stars again. The Vidation and Slap the Rocks. I did those because I wanted to get to my 225th platinum, I want to say. Oh yeah, because Resident Evil was my 200. Resident Evil Village was my 200th platinum, and I had gotten it earlier that year, but I was I didn't get to mention it because I forgot, to be honest. But yeah, it's my 200th platinum, and that's the last one that I made a milestone. God of War Ragnarok was 225 right here. And love this game. Really great sequel. Really great wrap up to that story, it seems. But we don't know with God of War. Will we get another one? How's that going to work out? So spoilers, no spoilers, but yeah, I think I have a good idea though. I think a lot of people do when you play through it. Plague Tale Requiem. As I said, I played the other one, Innocence. I loved it. Thought it was really good. It gave me like a lot of Last of Us vibes. So played through that. Um, this was late last year, right at the end of last year. So now we're finally 2023. Modern Warfare 2. Um, Campaign was fun. Um, the Spec Ops part of it was a bit nerve wracking at times. I did this. I couldn't have done it without Donna. She helped me out, helped me get through it. 'Cause she's a beast at COD. Unlike me, I'm not really good at Call of Duty. At least not anymore. Um, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. So I did that this year. And just I never played the original on the PSP, but I was so happy when they announced a remaster for this. Like, I'm finally gonna get to play it, even though yes, I can play the PSP. I have one, and I bought the game even, but I never wanted to play through it on with one analog stick. That's the one thing about the PSP that I never liked. So one analog stick, it's just weird and just a weird design. I don't know what possessed them to even do that. But anyways, great game, great story. Really adds a lot to Final Fantasy VII storyline. So Hades, what a fun game this is. I really enjoyed it. Fueyo, I know you were watching. You're probably gonna watch this back at some point, but um, I know you got into it. You said it was the same creators of Transistor, and I'm like, oh, I gotta give it a shot. And I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was a really phenomenal roguelike. So just the replayability of it is unlike any other game I've seen. Little Nightmares 2 again. I did South Park: The Fractured Butthole, which is the sequel to Stick of Truth. Really fun. Not as good of a game though. Trophyless is a bit easier, but the game overall is not as good, in my opinion. So, but still very funny, and I still had some great laughs just playing through that game. And it's just South Park. It's just outrageous, you know. Then I auto popped Gran Turismo 7, and I did that because I wanted to install it on my PS4 as well in my other room, where I'm putting my steering wheel, and I wanted to be able to play it on there, on that. So I was like, you know what, you can't avoid the auto pop for this game. So I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna just avoid it. Plus, I worked really hard on the PS5 one, and I played a lot of more hours than I needed for the platinum. Like, I'm at like 170 hours. Platinum for that game was like 80 or something like that, or 90 estimated, you know. So I played a hell of a lot of that game. So I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'll just auto pop it and put it on the other PlayStation like I wanted to. Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight. Just like for Persona 4 Dancing, just a rhythm game. Persona 5 characters, just a little fun little game, you know. And these games here, RE2, RE3, replayed these on the PS5 and had a blast playing them. And it was just in preparation for 4, which you'll see up here. I was replaying a lot of games this year, a ton of games. The replay Grand Theft Auto 5, but I did auto pop all the online and a good portion of the single player. I just replayed the story, then auto pop the rest. So, you know, it's kind of like, didn't really feel like doing all those collectibles again or whatever. But, you know, the 3,000 hours on the PS4 version, I think I shouldn't feel I shouldn't feel bad about it. WWE 2K23, much easier platinum than 22, but it had three glitch trophies for quite a while there. Should have been one of the first people in the world to get it, but you know, the trophy gods had other plans. Holy shit, I'm at the end of my list. Wow, I really haven't played much this year, huh? Look at that. Horizon Forbidden West. I had the platinum since last year, but I finally went back and did the DLC. Um, Replayed the game as well for New Game Plus, and just really enjoyed it. Love Forbidden West. Really great follow up to Zero Dawn. Which I feel like I didn't talk enough about Zero Dawn. Now that I think about it, but I forgot what else I was talking about at the same time. I think I kind of skipped over Zero Dawn. Now that I think about it, but Forbidden West, great game. Um, Really left me wanting to know what the hell's gonna happen next. So I guess they did their job in that aspect. With the next one, because there will be a Horizon 3, whatever the tagline will be for it. We'll see, but you know, I can't wait for that. Resident Evil 4. Spent 1 month, 4 weeks on this bad boy. I really I really took this game in. Took 2 months to platinum this game. Holy shit! I played the hell out of it, and I loved every bit of it. It's such a great remake. To me, the best remake to this day. No, sorry, I take that back. 2 was the best remake. Before, it somehow managed to make the original better when we thought it wasn't even possible. So, you know, and redid Wreckfest on the PS4. Just trying to get a racing game in there for the year because I wasn't gonna count the Gran Turismo Autopop as my racing game. It sucks on the PS4 version though. I'll tell you, game's not really. It doesn't handle the frames well. Cat Quest 2. So I did the the sequel. Not as good as the original Cat Quest, but still a fun little RPG. I'm not a cat person really because I'm allergic, but for those that are cat people, you'll love the Cat Quest series, and you like RPGs. So, a lot of little puns in there. That was my last platinum so far. I'm playing Final Fantasy 16. Just finally beat the game. This week was it? Yeah, this week on Monday. And now I'm just doing the cleanup, and then gonna do my second playthrough. Really different Final Fantasy from the others, but my God, such a great game. So much about it that takes elements of Final Fantasy and like Devil May Cry and kind of meshes it together, and elements from like different games. You could tell they went a whole different direction with this game, and I felt like it's a good Final Fantasy to play before 7 Remake 2 or Rebirth, I should say, for next year, because that would be more like the older ones, At least that's what I've seen from what I think. But yes, guys, that is all. I want to, for those that go back and maybe rewatch this, I know there's not a lot of people watching right now, but if you go back and watch this, I thank you for doing so. And leave your comments, any questions you want to ask me about my journey. I am, 15 years of this, ups and downs. I have no regrets really at this point, because it's like anything that I may have done, like, with like easier games, offset it with hard games. So it's all, just what I felt at the moment, what I felt like playing, and sometimes it might have not been the right game, and maybe I was pushing myself too hard, but I've learned kind of a better balance now. And, we'll see where the next 5 years. Thank you, Donna. Appreciate it. We'll see you in the next 5 years. We do this again, August 4th, 2028. Let's see where I'm at in the world. I won't start from the bottom of my list next time. I'll tell you 5 years. But fuck, I could have done a lot more in 15 years. I took a lot of breaks, but where would I be mentally? Where would my health be? Where would my family be? I've prioritized my family, essentially. And, I could have, 15 years. Like, there's people that I know that have 500, 600 platinums and barely have any easy ones. Like, kind of like I don't think I have a lot of easy ones. I have a good amount, I would say 30 or so, if you really look at them, like games that are not fucking worthy of being a platinum, in my opinion. But I put a lot of time and dedication into this, and it's been a big part of my life, the ups and downs and the time off. So we'll see what happens. It was all about the platinum. See that? I bought this when I moved. It was one of my favorite collectible in this room because obviously it says my name on it. Let me see if I'm... Yeah. Maybe you can see it, but it says Nemesis 850. But yeah, I am exhausted. I need something to drink. This went on, 2 hours, 45 minutes. Holy crap. I didn't expect this to be that long. 280 games is not a lot, but I did talk a lot about certain games and kind of really just want to express myself about my journey. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't watch it, it's cool. I didn't expect a lot of people hearing me talk about my life and my journey as far as gaming. Oh, you have one of those too. Yeah, I remember. Awesome. Guys, I'm going to go get a glass of water. And I'm going to go play some Final Fantasy. Forget talking about games. I'm going to go play some games. But thank you guys. And for those that hung out during the stream, I appreciate it. And for those that catch it later on, like I said, leave some comments. And even if it's not on YouTube, it's on Discord. Like, hey, I checked out the stream or whatever. Just let me know what you guys thought. Anything you think I should have elaborated on. And I'll do that. All right. Thank you guys. Once again, have a good night. Peace. Until the next one in 5 years.